I tell you, man, it never gets old. It never gets old. It's too good, man. It's too good, Syrin.
Thanks.
It's too good, man. Too good, like over half the characters in Guilty Gear Strive right now. Anyways, good morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are on the planet, the world, wherever it is. Because I heard I got aliens from other planets watching our stuff now, Syrin. I kid you not. Don't ask how I know, they just told me. Welcome to another edition of the Shattering. I am Chrissy Lotus, joined along with.
Syrin Richxson.
I'm surprised you didn't be like. Surprised I didn't throw you off. That's my freaking fans with that freaking. The freaking Chris based Nest fan fiction. Y'all are awesome, man, for that. But let's get on right into it. I'm pretty sure some of you that are tuning in are wondering what is going on there in the middle? What is going on here? Well, you probably see the title. We got ourselves a guest today. Now, whether or not, now, depending on whether you tuned into that Guilty Gear Strive stream that I did not too long ago, or if you are old school, hardcore, been following me for a long time, you might recall that this guy right here assisted me with the Omen of Sorrow tutorials that I did way back then. I missed the freaking game. But anyways, everybody, on this Shatter Day, even though it is freaking gloomy out where I am right now, it's an awesome moment here. We got some extra company. Everybody watching, welcome to the show, the Cheshire Beam.
Hello, everybody. Uh, as Mr. Lotus had just said, I'm Cheshirebeam, formerly known as Nothing But a Smile. Uh, so I got into fighting games quite a long time ago. I want to say I was like 9, 8, maybe 7. I don't know. But my first fighting game was Tekken on a PlayStation console, or it was Tekken 3 actually. And from then I've always enjoyed fighting games, but I didn't really get into fighting games like in the competitive realm of fighting games until I met Lotus here, along with some other people that were some fellow hand servers uh, at a little card shop that we used to go to. It was when MKX first came out. That's when I actually started kind of putting in that lab work and actually trying to get better at these various fighting games. So yeah, that's how I basically got into like trying to be competitive or at least semi-competitive. I don't think I'm some award-winning Evo champ or anything, but I strive to be better. See what I did there? Um, but
Oh
aside from
man.
that, my other main thing is being an artist. Uh, the avatar you're looking at right now, that's my own personal design. I do, do my own characters and whatnot. I post on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, things of that nature. Uh, I do think I have to change my Instagram because I think it's still Cheshire Cat Smile and not Cheshire's Beam. But yeah, yeah, artist, gamer, server of hands. Here to get my 2 cents in on this podcast on this wonderful Saturday.
I never thought that would catch on.
Yes, it did.
Shattered. So like so what is you got a favorite fighting game by chance? By the way, everybody just now tuning in, welcome to the show. We are talking with our guest this day, my good friend, my brother, Cheshire Beam. So, like, do you have like any favorites as far as fighting games are concerned by chance? What's your favorites?
I mean, if I'm being totally honest, like if I had to pick a favorite fighting game, it would probably be the Blaze Blue series.
Oh, Blaz Blue as they love to call it. Why is
I
Bla
mean that.
Mhm.
That's where I like kind of had this because before, I just played random characters or tried to see who was like good or whatever. But I think that was the first game where I first actually, this character is aesthetically pleasing to me. I'm going to play them, and I don't care what anybody says or any tier list or anything, because that's why how I picked up Taukaka, because I thought she was an interesting character. And lo and behold, I got on everybody's nerves in that game with that kitty cat.
You familiar with Talcott, Syrin?
No idea.
So to summarize her character, she's technically like a genetic clone of this great hero that was like a cat person. One of many genetic clones actually. But unlike her brothers and sisters, she has what I call a severe case of ADHD.
Ah,
Um, she's extremely easily distracted. If you offer her some food, she'll drop whatever she's doing or even forget what she's doing, like on the way to go do it. But that aside, she is pretty
wait,
strong.
is she that one character that wears like a hood and like you can't
Yes.
see her face?
Yeah, that will be depending on whether they make another Blaze Blue game or not. That will forever remain a mystery. Nobody knows what she looks like.
Like the most that you
Okay.
can get from like her anatomy is when she gets hit with like electric attacks, and like you'll see like because everybody has that in Blaze where they get hit with electric attacks, and then you'll see like some skeletal or some hidden things that you might not see immediately. Because I know like she has smuggles like I think like some fish or something like in her
Yeah,
freaking
she's always
claws.
holding fish.
So like a lot of people that come like come and watch us on the Shattering. By the way, our boy Jose is in the chat. Then always good to have you here, dude. Also, props to you because I didn't expect anybody to show up for the freaking Guilty Gear stream because, I mean, I think like a lot of people who come on here, my channel at least, think like I'm strictly KOF. Then like I said I like fighting games in general, and I hadn't been covering Strive as much as I probably should have been on my channel. But I think around that time when the KOF trailers came out, I think the Strive base roster for the most part had been decided because around the time I started doing this, Eno came out. So, but yeah, we're gonna be talking about Strive later because, and it's honestly gonna wrap right back around into pretty much fighting games in general, even with KOF. But we will cross that bridge when we get there. But one more question to you, Mr. Cheshirebeam. There, as I mentioned, most of the people here that tune into us, they love talking about the like SNK games. And what was your introduction to SNK games? What was your first one?
Ooh, hold on. Ooh, that's a tough one because I feel like I've played something that wasn't King of Fighters before I played 14,
Hmm.
but I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure.
So the
Uh, because what other series did they have? I know they have Garu Mark of the Wolves.
well, Gar,
They
well,
have
well,
World
Garu Mark,
Heroes.
yeah, Garu Mark of the Wolves is actually part of the Fatal Fury series. Basically, it's just not named Fatal Fury. That's part of like the Fatal Fury storyline. Like that's almost like the whole New World plus Terry and some other people. Like what is it? Freaking Marco was a student of Rio's. You got Kim's sons. Like they really tried to go like
Marys.
next
You
generation.
have Blue Mary's like
I
sister.
would say, yeah, I think KOF 14 was my first SNK game.
Okay, because I know like we bonded like over that game right there. Like told like we even tried we kind of sort of got some people in the shop into it then, but after a while some folks just were just content with watching, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, me coming up and like watching, like I said, I my one of my biggest cousins, they used to babysit me all the time when I was little, was the reason I got into fighting games. But at the same time, like I got into it because seeing him like do crazy freaking combos because he was playing the Super NES port of Killer Instinct, and I'm watching him do this there. There are two controllers there because he has a sister, my other cousin, and she legit could play too. But it's like the two of them were so good, and here I am. I'm like, I can't play against you. Don't murder me. I eventually did play it like in, I think it was Tekken Tag Tournament The first one, yeah, it was the first one. But yeah. So I understand, some people might just get a little too intimidated to step up and actually play. It might be a little intimidating, But hey, the best way to get better at these games is just to like, hey, go in and take your bumps, learn something, have fun. Best way I could put it.
The best way for you to learn is to get beat up.
Basically. And like, but I know like we kind of got some people into 14, but after a while it was like us two and like I think it was just a Brill that would occasionally step in. Shout out to the Sultan, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Lord Last Hokage, who's been also playing us in
Also,
Guilty Gear lately then.
also known as Mr. Bit.
Mr. Bit. Exactly, Mr. Bit. Hey there, Fabio. Nice to see you. But yeah, 14 was your first one. And the interesting thing is Mr. Cheshire here has, kind of gone backwards. Because I've kind of walked him through the history of like KOF and all the different, characters and franchises that are linked to this series. Because I think his first time outside of it, far as like hands-on, like playing, was 2002 right? When when they put the port out.
Yes.
Right. And
then I had the undertaking of trying out 13 on PlayStation Now. So this is a public service announcement. If you don't have some type of cybernetic enhancements on your hands, don't be wary of trying out KOF 13. You will break your hands.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because like, I was trying because, when I would keep constantly telling him about KOF 13 and like, why people consider like it's the best one and all this other stuff and everything. And don't get me wrong, netcode aside, it's a great game. But at the same time, it's like when you want to level up in there, it is insane. It is insane. When I was describing this stuff to him, it's like it might sound crazy as I'm describing it then, but try actually getting hands on and actually doing the stuff. The drive cancels and all this other stuff. And yeah,
playing KOF 13 is like trying to play a symphony on the piano and work a 7-string guitar at the same time.
So you're basically saying collector from Mortal Kombat 11 could play it. Freaking KOF 13.
He would be amazing.
Oh god. But yeah, because I was there when he was trying the trials out, and it was like, I mean, I didn't watch him do it though, but it was just the commentary was enough for me to get what he was doing. But then as he was trying the trials, I was like, let me try him with him or whatever. You ever have that person where it's like, they'll make you do like exercises or like push ups or something like that, something tough, like you're in training camp or something, and like hey, you have that one awesome coach or something that'll be like, and I'll do them with you. What's up? It's
Yes,
like
sir.
I was gonna try to do like the the trials with him then. And he can attest this. I legit freaking nearly messed up my freaking left hand trying to do these freaking trials.
So,
oh god.
made an offhanded comment after quitting those trials. So, for those of you that don't know, I have 9 3/4 fingers. So I had an accident. Not going to go into detail about it, but I lost like the first knuckle of my index finger. Right.
All right.
So basically, the running joke is that I lost a finger playing KO 13. And if you actually pay close attention to my little avatar, he's actually missing a portion of his index finger.
Oh, you went into that much detail? Whoa.
The hand where he's holding the bird is actually a missing part of the index finger.
Look at that. That man is one with his art, definitely. I don't know, like maybe it was because of like the Syrin trying to crop it or whatever, but you look a little ghostly. Not like it's a bad thing. It looks like, because it's like I'm looking at the screen like I almost called it a Titantron. I'm looking at the screen there in the back, and it's like Cheshirebeam looking a little ghostly almost.
So
which is funny because I had told Syrin, I'm like, if he couldn't get it there in time, because Syrin really wanted it to animate it and put it in the element and all that. I was about to say, well, I mean, if all else fails, he'll be like a freaking, unseen entity. since since a couple of people in my chat were making jokes about you, Don, and Derek being like voices in my head, like I'm Randy Orton or something. We were playing freaking Guilty Gear.
I
Still
have
playing for best.
voices in my hand. They catch these hands.
I could never be comedic like Don can.
So,
I could never do that.
so Lotus, I don't know if you caught the stuff I put in this picture, but uh if you pay attention to the the arm wrappings and the cloak, I basically did my own little gender bent Ramlethal, if you will.
Oh. Oh, I can see it now. I can see it now.
Anything. So the arm wraps and the leg wrap she has, she got it in Rev 2 because she got like hurt during like the final like battle.
By the way, this is his favorite character, so
Yes, sir.
this is his favorite Guilty Gear character, though.
As a coefficient would say, it's his chocolate waifu. But
Can't
so
blame him for that.
so she got hurt in the last game. Her left arm and her left leg got hurt, so she wrapped them. And here's the thing: the wraps were not red, so I feel like she got some little sprinkle of Bardock going on. I think that's blood, like in the wraps.
Oh, all right. Oh, some symbolism there, then. But I mean, I should freaking, if I could dig them, I need to find that freaking picture he made of me, like it was like ghost and like fighting type Pokemon like it had a wrestling gimmick or something. I should
I was doing like a thing a while ago where I was
Yeah.
drawing like some of the people I know as gym leaders, and
Yeah.
I got to him, and since he's a wrestling fan, I did like a wrestling themed like Pokemon team. Like he has a wrestling team, and I think it was what Incineroar, Ghastly,
Yeah,
Hunter.
it was like them and some ghosts or whatnot then. But yeah, shout outs to all the artists then. That would also include Hybrid Gothica that did the image for my intro, which turned out better than I did because if you see the stuff that Hybrid Gothica does, I don't have like the digital art chops like that. So I appreciate all of that. And also shout outs to Krisu for providing the music as well. Which is interesting. I think like Krisu is like I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like cuz he's from somewhere in Europe. I don't want to guess wrong. I just know it's a European country. I don't want to guess wrong. But yeah, Krisu over there apparently, and you probably see it coming, is Chris. So here we are again. The guys over here got another not Chris freaking meme to add to the pot. They got me. They got the
They
freaking
keep
bands,
coming,
Chris.
don't they?
You say what?
I said they just keep coming, don't
Keep
they?
on coming then. Like I said, I mean, you got me, you got freaking the bands, Chris, you got Krisu that did my music, Electronic Warbear, shout outs to him and his lovely wife, Nina. Electronic Warbear, who provides most of the soundtrack for my videos, is also named Chris. So they're all over the place, man. They're all over.
You know who you main in Guilty Gear, Chris?
Who?
Chris Havana.
We'll get to Guilty Gear later. We'll get to Guilty Gear later. But it's interesting that we're about to transition into all the stuff we got from SNK, and the moment that I said that, we saw the Metal Slug stage from the Ikari Warriors team. And
Fitting.
while that is a good stage, at the same time, it's almost like, at least in my mind, a humorous poke at what stuff was like in the SNK verse when it came to news, kind of, in the past while or so since we last met. Now there is something to talk about. Oh, and best believe we're going to, but I think I might want to step back because a couple of you, I'm not gonna say who in my fandom or whatever, my chat, my audience, and everything, they legit thought something was wrong with me when I freaking first started reacting to the Luong trailer. Tonso, we're going to get you fixed if you don't stop. Which is messed up because like when I had the silhouette up and I was talking about all the different speculations and the predictions, I warned everybody. It's there. You can look. The proof is there. I warned you. If it is Luong, prepare for me to be bouncing off the walls like a thirsty freaking pinball on a dry freaking pinball board. It's gonna happen. But speaking of, and there she is. There she is. Right there on the screen. Right there. Good old Luong. And no freaking... And don't worry, Jose, that'll be coming soon. I told y'all I'm messing. Did you? Well, I think you just tuned in, but you didn't catch what I called myself earlier. I'm Chrissy. I'm Chrissy Lotus, and I just gave away what the inspiration was.
Oh,
I probably should have saved that for the last one I could have done because she's the last Nest's project that we know of. Sylvie Paula.
yeah, I just caught on to that.
Yeah, because you really didn't react at first. Because like Cheshirebeam can attest to this as well. Then we did another podcast a while ago called the 18-bit podcast, and I had a running gag. That what'd you say?
Oh Jesus!
Anyways, but yeah, I had a running gag where I basically would just change my name or like put like some stupid moniker in front of it all the time. So, but yeah, I'm trying to take from as many of the Ness as I can until it's over. I mean, hey, the Chris Ness arc has to end sometime. It has to. It just has to. It's got to end at some point. But yes, Lulu Long.
Louis Long.
What are your thoughts, gentlemen? Because I think it's pretty predictable what I'll have to say. So I'm gonna step back like Geese is freaking on the panel today.
Well, all I can say is that the male characters in 15 are gonna have a lot of fun. They're gonna die happy men.
All right.
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, they can sit there and, cut it off before the impact, but come on now. Come on now. We know what's up. Y'all saw, if you watched my reaction, like, because a couple people pointed it out, you saw how I reacted when they just cut it off right there. I already hate when they cut off, like, it was cool the first time when they did it with Rio and Robert, when they, like, had them both doing their climaxes and they clash and then cut off. That was cool. But then they did it again with Ralph and like Clark, and it's like, okay, come on, man. And on top of that, Ralph barely got any of his stuff in. And yeah, I'm still mad about that. Still mad. But like, yeah, any other thoughts about... I'm just gonna start calling her Lulu from now on.
There you go.
No, that makes it sound like she's freaking 70 years old. But yeah, any other thoughts on Lulu Long? Lulu Long Legs.
Lulu Long Legs.
Go ahead.
I think I'm on the same page as you. It would be interesting if she turns heel in 15, especially given the realization that apparently what was the character's name?
Which one?
Her I almost said husband. I was thinking of Hakan for a second. Jong Il.
Yeah,
Gong-il. Yeah, Gong Il. If he like shows up with if he always has a different like woman with him all the time, then it would make sense. Like if he like put her to the wayside for some new chick, then there will be some like sinister like aspect to her now. Like she might want revenge, or she might be out to kill Gong-un or something like that.
Gong-il, yeah.
Gong-il, sorry.
Freaking what Jun Hoon and him did the fusion dance. I mean, at least he'd be interesting. I don't even really play Jun Hoon like that, but I mean, he'd be interesting because that character's boring. Syrin, thoughts on a Lulu Longlegs?
I mean, I didn't have much.
Sounds like a freaking cartoonish Spider Woman character, like in what was that mess that you told me to watch a while ago? What was it? Hotel something? Hotel?
Oh, Aspen Hotel.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
There's still only one episode of that to this date.
Cool. Yeah, Syrin, thoughts on Luong?
When I had seen it originally, the trailer. I mean, when I first made the video, I didn't have much to really say because I don't know. Out of the characters on that team, I really played Kim and Gang-il because I kind of like Gang-il's play style.
I mean,
and
go ahead.
Luong is kind of interesting to me, but she didn't really fit my, I don't know, the playstyle I usually have, which is just kind of, I don't know if it's considered a rush down, but as Maximilian Dude would say, Unga McBunga, where I just kind of wail on people and hope to either chip them to death or just go in.
With all this use of the word Unga Bunga, now you know who needs to be in KOF at this point? Mudman from World Heroes.
Jesus Christ.
That's who needs to be, since y'all keep talking about some Unga Bunga, Oogada Boogada, Oogada Boogada. Like, just bring Mudman back. That was a good design too. Like, I mean, I know it was kind of silly and everything, but it was interesting.
Is he the guy with the mask?
Yeah, like that was the New Zealander, the headhunter. I mean, well, he's a shaman. He's a shaman. I don't think he was a headhunter. He was a shaman. Yeah, because like he had like a mask that it changed facial expressions despite the fact, I mean, it was just that, a mask, and like when he blocked certain attacks you could see his face because he's using the big mask like a shield. So that was cool there. He had a Tatsumaki where basically he gets in the air and spins around, but like he's like, I guess, like hunched backward almost, then like in the air, but he's hitting you with his kneecaps instead of his feet, and like he's spinning in the air like a top, like with the mask, like it's like I don't know how to put it because just showing like I'm not really much of an engineer like with my mechanical terms there, but you get what I mean. He had like he had like attacks where he's legit hitting you with the big mask heads, like you see wrestlers hit people with steel chairs and stuff. He's like, he got freaking, I think he had like a special move where he would call these spirits down to get you, and they pick you up and take you away while he's banging on drums or something. He was cool. I liked it.
I just looked up a picture of him. Like he kind of reminds me of what was like the mask that was always with Crash Bandicoot.
Aku
Oh,
Aku.
Yeah, like reminds me of him but with a body.
Aku Aku before the accident.
Little do we know, the freaking World Heroes and Crash Bandicoot universes are linked through that.
Crash Bandicoot.
Aku Aku is exactly what Syrin said after the accident. After the accident. But to be fair, since you mentioned Gone Gil was a meta character, and like he was pretty strong in like the KOF 14 meta at a certain point. He certainly was. He absolutely was. So, because I was even surprised seeing him, and I get why. I mean, because like his reversals, like especially when people love using any supers that are reversals,
Yeah.
like true reversals. You're invulnerable, and if somebody wants to be a sucker and not know how to pull back and not to push buttons, hit them with it, chunk of damage, and they got to start over, especially if they want to get in, as I always say.
He also just fits the other characters I play a lot of the time, which is just the mastery characters somehow. I've noticed a theme of I play a lot of the old dudes, and I don't know how, but it just kind of happens, and I like their play style. Like I play like in mostly King of Fighters. There's Shattering, there's Takuma, and there's obviously King Hill, and most recently in KOF 98, I got it recently, Saishu, as well as, and then in like Street Fighter, I play Akuma and
Goken.
Goken, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he has a thing for senseis, masters.
They're fun.
It's kind of insulting when like I mean, I understand like the lore shouldn't dictate stuff like this, but it just sometimes seems a little bit insulting when they be like masters, like these characters that are instructors and actual like legit badass like masters, and they're bottom tier. I know, like I said, I know storyline shouldn't dictate stuff like that, but just when you think about it, when you think about like these characters in terms of storyline, it does get like kind of funny looking at that then. But
Yeah.
what's going on over here? Not many hosts. What's up?
I was gonna say, although Takuma in a couple games has been high tier, especially in 13 when you could play Mr. Karate.
I mean, I think, like I said, Gone Gil was in the meta. Like I said,
Yeah.
Jose over here. Not many like Gone Gil because he's too short. What? What?
What?
He's too short. Oh my god. People don't like him because he's short?
Because Luan. I mean, I feel like just Luong just looks really tall compared to him, but that's because she's on her toes.
And as you just said, Jose, doesn't really make sense because Choi is the shortest character in the. Yep, he sure is. But maybe I guess he gets away with it because he's midget Freddy. I guess I don't know. Yeah, Choi, like the freaking midget, freaking Freddy Krueger looking dude with the big ass nose. Him.
Yeah, I know who he is. I hate playing against him as well as Chin, but dang.
I'm sure Gongil is the same size of a normal man. I mean, I never like. Are we really like getting on characters because they're short now? Then again, maybe it's like, is it because of short dudes? Because I mean, I don't know how many people have run into as of well, I'm not gonna use that example, but anyways, that just that just freaking caught me off guard. Not many like Gongil because he's too short for what? This man,
Gongil-
this man legit taught Kim everything he knows, except for, I guess maybe. Well, he's married, so I can't say that. He's married. Kim married.
Yo, look,
What's up?
you've ever seen like inconsistencies in what the I guess like the wiki or like the data book says on like a character's features in contrast to what they actually look like in the game?
In certain cases, yeah, because I don't know why, but randomly earlier today I was thinking about biking, and I kind of agreed with when the Fighter's Generation was talking about how the one thing he didn't like about her, and it was just, I guess you can call it a nitpick, but he didn't like the fact her hair's pink, because there's so many freaking pink anime hair girls and stuff like that.
It's such an off thing.
But
Yeah,
then, but then it's like you got like I've seen pictures and maybe there's a context to it, whether it's lighting or whether it's like a transformation or something. But there's pictures I've seen of her, like official ones, not fan art. Then, or maybe it was just one. I have to look back at it again. Her hair is blue. It's like why couldn't
It
it?
is?
Yeah, like in this particular picture, like it's an official picture, like no fan art or whatever. Like it's a, but maybe like there's context to it. Maybe it's just like I don't know. Maybe official artists want to goof off a little bit because like the whole thing is kind of like you could almost say it's kind of like that whole tint or whatever. It's like a tint of like hints of blue and like white. So, but I'm just like I mean, then again, it's probably my bias because I love cold colors. But why couldn't her hair be blue? I think biking could make blue hair work. I mean, I know that might be like another typical done to
Blue
the
hair
death.
anime girl.
I know it's probably done to the death, but it's like, But that's just me though. And by the way, Jose also kind of liking the whole short thing with Doppo Orochi in the Baki series. Since you mentioned Baki, let me drop a little bit of knowledge on you because this is somebody that I've heard Syrin talk about him wanting in KOF. And it's funny because we didn't seen this fool in the background of several KOF 2002 stages. I think the one in Greece in particular, because you talk about Krauser.
Yeah.
Now, Krauser, interestingly, and this was so crazy. So, obviously, people know that the Wolfgang part is a nod to Mozart, the composer.
Yeah.
Do you know where the Krauser comes from?
Insert funny random German maybe. I don't know.
So, I guess I'm starting it now. I don't know, because I know I've done it here and there on this freaking podcast before, but here's your little wrestling tidbit of, trivia for today. The Krauser, when it comes to Wolfgang Krauser, was taken from a wrestler by the name of Karl Gotch. Karl Gotch is considered one of the most biggest, influential, and most important figures in Japanese wrestling. So much so, he is called Kami-sama. And you know what that means. And if you don't, just look it up. But yeah, like a lot of these like veterans that we see nowadays, then, like for instance, one name that's still going, he's still wrestling to this day at his age, and I think he's like maybe early mid-50s there. Minoru Suzuki was trained by Karl Gotch. And Minoru Suzuki has a connection with fighting games because he did motion capture for King in Tekken. So, booyah! There's that. But yeah, when it comes to Krauser, though, you're wondering, okay, where you get Krauser from Karl Gotch? Well, one of the other ring names, because wrestlers will also sometimes switch ring names, whether it's like they switch a persona, whatever it might be. persona. Usually they'll change your name for like a persona or maybe a controversy happens about something. I don't know exactly what the motivation behind this change was, but nevertheless, he had an alternate name. It was Carl Krauser. And also speaking of Baki, Karl Gotch was not exactly like Karl Gotch was also a ring name. It was a persona stage name. His real name was Charles Istatz, which is also the name of a character in Baki, who actually is based on Karl Gotch. The more you know.
So Lotus, just to have a little cliff note on that Gong Il thing, there's literally only like a 4-inch difference between their heights. Him and Luong, even though she looks incredibly tall. Like he's 5'5" and she's 5'11".
I just don't get that. Like we're really disliking fighting game characters because they're short now.
I get it with the really short characters, but
I mean, I guess I can understand. You might look at somebody sideways if they say, "I'm a really big fan of Yoda in Soul Calibur," or I'm a really big freaking Servbot main in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I'm a big time Servbot main. It's like you might look at somebody sideways when they do that, but still, it's like, are we really like judging on like height now? Are we getting into the Vince McMahon era of judging like characters, but instead of them having to be big sweaty men, it's always got to be somebody above the average height of dudes? I mean, I know most of the dudes in like KOF are kind of tall. Like I think most dudes in the franchise, when you put them all together, are way taller than him. I think. Like aside from like Choi, like who else is shorter than him? Like who else?
Chin.
Chin is. I'm pretty sure. It'd be fun. Double check it just in case, because it'd be funny if it's like it'd be funny if it's like one of those deceiving things because Elena in Street Fighter, unless somebody's come by and I haven't seen some, but the last time I checked, she is the tallest woman in Street Fighter. Period. The tallest woman. But you wouldn't know it though because, of course, the capoeira stance, involves her being like down there and doing the sway and everything, the stance.
Yeah.
Because, like, very seldom like does she stand all the way up. It's the same thing like with somebody like Faust. Faust doesn't always stand up straight then. Like, I mean, I think now he does, ironically.
Yeah, he's still hunch over even now.
I think he does. I think Faust stands up straight now, but back in the day, he was down there in the little crouching, like, looking like he was a catcher at a freaking baseball game or something.
Like for real. I'm saying even now in Strive, he still like hunches a little bit. He's standing up, but he still hunches over.
I mean, compared to like then though, like at least he's standing. At least he's standing like now. Like back then he wouldn't stand up. It was just that same as even in the Dr. Baldhead days. I can't believe this.
Yeah, it is kind of goofy though. Is like how they look like in the game compared to the other characters height wise, and then what the actual information is. Because Luong is literally like my height, and then Gong-un is like 5'5", so he's literally maybe at her chin.
Man, by the way, before I get back to that, what's up?
I said not even at her chin. He'd be like at her nose. So he's not that much shorter than her, even though in game he looks like she towers over him.
Yeah,
she's standing on her toes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. By the way, the viewer count's kind of gone up a little bit, so just wanted to welcome everybody. Hope you're having a good Shatter day. Ryan Bomber asked, what'd you miss? I mean, we really just talked about, like, Luong, then, and also you're looking at the screen, you're, like, wondering, who is that in the middle there? That is Cheshirebeam joining us today on the Shattering.
Hello.
Like, that's all we've really been doing. Then we got to know him a little bit better, and, like, now we're kind of talking about Luong. And right now, at this particular point, we're talking about something Jose brought up, because apparently, unless he's just, like, unless he's just trying to get a reaction out of me, I didn't know people dislike Gong-il because he's short.
That is prejudice. That is FGC prejudice.
What's up, Johnny? What's up, Johnny?
Everybody like Gong-il.
By the way, Johnny, I'm not C49 this time around. Then Chrissy Lotus here this time. Then the Nest arc of Chris is almost over.
But
Jose gave me my last one, unless I missed a few.
When are we gonna get the arc for the what was it called, Tales of Ash saga?
Man, don't encourage them, please. in case y'all didn't hear that, he's talking about when are we gonna get like the Tales of Ash Chris arc. I'm telling them, don't be tempting y'all, please, because y'all are creative. Y'all legit thought the whole Chris Ness mess up on the fly. We were about to play 2002 UM. I freaking set everything up on my Steam. I come back and there's a fan fiction about 20 comments strong about a bunch of Ness clones with my name. Really? Johnny trying to freaking write a Guilty Gear freaking fan fiction about me now. Chris bad guy.
yeah,
Chris bad guy. Chris
Bad
bad guy. Oh my.
you got Kai.
Oh
You got
my.
Kai.
Hey, you.
You got Kai Chris.
All right, stop. Because Ryan, I'm like really right. Okay, now is this turning? Is this turning into a freaking? Is this and shut up, Syrin? Is this turning now into like a freaking a Gongil roast? Like I didn't say roast the guy, because Ryan's talking about some Gongil looked like George Jefferson after a good year of Tybo.
What the fuck?
I don't know what that means.
Oh my.
Just look up George Jefferson, Syrin, and then think of like I guess somebody doing some like because Tybo's like it's a workout regimen, but like it incorporates like martial arts style like workouts and stuff, doing kicks and punches, stuff like that.
I mean, Bomber isn't wrong though.
It turned into like the roast of Gongil. Like I'm
We need some comedians up here. Then we need to call Don.
oh jeez, man. But really, they don't like him because he's short. Because he's short. I done
They're
heard.
having flashbacks of
I done heard.
they're having
I done heard.
three flashbacks of Yoda from Soul Calibur.
Maybe
Yeah,
that's
those are the people that like him.
yeah. Maybe that's the reason they hate short characters. I guess.
Wasn't there this one guy from I forget what it was?
my
Was
God.
it Killer Instinct? What's that one game? Is it? It's Primal Rage. Is it? What's the one where the people turn into the animals?
Bloody Roar.
Bloody Roar.
Bloody Roar. Yeah, they're
Primal Roar is the one with all the dinosaurs and the two King Kong clones as fighting end characters, which needs to make a comeback. Anyway,
Wait a
keep
minute.
going.
I know who you're talking about. Sorry, you're talking about Kronos.
Kronos.
He
the
turned
one that
into
turns
freaking
into a penguin, right?
But then he has the much more impressive like hyper beast form. He turns into a phoenix.
Oh, I was talking about the one that turned into a penguin.
That's the same character.
Yeah, because he was like super hard to hit him.
And then he disrespects you by surfing on your back. On each arm.
Surfs up, dude.
That was the inspiration for the movie Surfs Up. Was that character?
Yep, it's true. He said it.
Cue it right now. They're gonna bring Gongil back and they're gonna give him that attack, and everybody that gets hit with it is gonna rage quit. Booyah!
I hope they do spice
wouldn't
up
be
the
It
a
wouldn't
little
be
bit.
the first character that carries you from screen to screen.
Why not? Why not?
What I hope they
You
do.
got Maxima, you got Heineko.
Hold up! Wait! What'd you say, Syrin?
I was gonna say if they, what I hope they do if they bring back Gang Hill is they give him like some more stuff and kind of make him like Takuma, where he's like kind of a mix between Robert and Rio, and kind of has like his own stuff going on as well. Or like maybe they give him more of Kim's old moves and like some of Jun-Hoon's old moves or moves in general, and then like give him his own stuff.
I'm gonna do just like I did last time, before the freaking Luong trailer came out. I'm just warning y'all right now. If they reveal Gongil anytime soon, then that mess is gonna be boring. Unless like something impresses me. I feel like maybe this is just one character that just ain't doing it for me. I just feel
Yeah.
it. I just this. Oh Lord.
They'll give Benny Marr his that goofy ass spin to win he has in 13.
I wish. No, spin the what?
He like
talking about
he's
Shinku.
around,
He's talking about
around.
he's talking about Shinku Katagoma. The freaking this.
This one where he's on his hands, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He spins around. It's not in 13. He has that one's like replaced with like a thunderbolt. And it's,
I
like,
think he
super
was
light.
asking like, would it like is it gonna make a comeback in 15 though? That's what I think he was
Yeah.
wondering.
Okay.
Given that we didn't see every single move from every character, which I hope that is the case, you know, that's one way to keep people engaged. Is like don't give us everything, okay? You know, I don't know about Syrin or Cheshire over there, but I'm like me. I just need enough to where I am engaged. And you don't have to give me gameplay and all this other stuff and everything. You don't have to give me like the smorgasbord, okay? Because whenever, like, you know, when all that criticism happened when we were talking mess about Shune's trailer, then people were acting like, y'all want a freaking gameplay breakdown, but the game's not going to be out for a couple more years. It's like, that's not what we're asking for. We just, you know, come on, like, that, like, that was a blink and you'll miss it. Legitimate blink and you'll miss it.
They did a decent job of that in Injustice 2. Like the trailers for the characters, that is, for not like showing everything off in the trailers.
Injustice kind of had an advantage because after a while, once we learned about the whole custom moves thing, they would stuff
It was-
those in there, and then you had to guess what was, you know, a gear specific move and what was, you know, in the arsenal. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I do not think people will be. I don't think people will be on board for a King of Fighters where you got people customizing every character. Like, do we really want like?
Don't
We really want MOBA fighting games, like, you know, MOBA elements in fighting games.
have Xander doing here. He has a move where he like calls down to like the fire of heaven or something like that.
Johnny in the chat. Really, I don't understand where Gongil fits. I mean, we already have too much kick-based characters in KOF. Yes and no. There are a lot of kick-based, but at least for me, they do vary in a sense. But at the same time, I do get where you're coming from because he didn't really bring anything new to the table, honestly. I mean, like, a lot of what he had in 14 was just like modified, in air quotes, modified versions of what Kim and a few other characters you can probably instantly think of, but they already do.
Kim and Kim's sons, basically. Yeah.
Basically. So, yeah. I'm trying not to. Shuichi thought I freaking talked less about Shune. I mean, I actually think Shune is redeemable. Gongil, no.
Yeah, the character's redeemable. That trailer isn't though.
The trailer's redeemable because I'm trying to think. I want to say it was. I apologize if I don't like remember like some of y'all that comment on stuff because y'all leave some really cool stuff. Like y'all help me out with stuff when I miss out on certain facts there and everything. But I want to say it was Landon, but I don't know. Like shout outs to Landon whether he's watching this now or the VOD, whatever. If it is him, but when I did my breakdown about how I felt about KOF 15 thus far, he thinks that Shune should get another trailer, and I actually agree with that. Because from every single trailer from Meiton Kun's down to, of course, the most recent being Luong's, SNK has shown that they can actually put together a decent trailer. And it's obvious when you look at all of those trailers and look back at the first one, that was a rush job. That was a rush job. We could tell it's a rush job because it's like one of those things where, you know, your teachers at one point or another in school have told you this whenever you kind of like slacked off on a test or something. You know, unless you were just straight like model student, if you were, good for you. But you've heard this before. We know you can do better. That's what this is. We know that they can do better. They've done it before. KOF 14, for all of what it might have lacked in terms of like design, which I don't see why that's still a talking point, but hey, that's just me talking. But the presentation of like the characters in 14 with the trailers, not even just the fact that they were on teams, but just the way they showed them doing combos, like actually, you know, giving you a good enough scenario to like consume and marinate and consume and digest what these moves might do. We couldn't break down anything in that trailer. We couldn't break down anything in Shune's trailer. And another reason why I feel like he needs another trailer is because this is the protagonist. He is the man right now, whether anybody in this freaking podcast, anybody watching, anybody elsewhere, any other SNK freaking person talking mess or whatever, Shune is the guy. As Batista would say, deal with it. Make the guy look good. Shune is not a lame character. He's not a bad character. I think he's redeemable. And on top of that, like, at least we got some type of storyline with him. Like, there's some mystique there. But what do we got? Like, I know I don't want to make this a Gone Gil roast, but like, what exactly storyline wise does he have outside the fact that this man goes to this country and brings a different girlfriend home? Then who's to say freaking? I'm about to repeat that mess I said about the jellyfish pirates. Get me out of here. You don't know what that man has in his house. How many and from where? But if they play into that storyline of him coming back with somebody else, and then this man is over here indirectly orchestrating and booking chick fights, and he making Luong take him on, I'm all for it.
Whichever one of you wins.
If he does, sorry.
Go ahead, you good?
If he does come back and he has another chick on his shoulder, do you think they would actually introduce a new character? Because Luong was new to 14, right?
Oh my god, I just had the dumbest idea. So that, but if he comes back and on his shoulder is like Melee.
Oh, Lord. I was joking with Chris because in Luong's trailer they have Shermie in there, like at the beginning. I was like, it'd be like hilarious if like he comes back with Shermie.
Oh my god.
Which would explain the little exchange they had in the trailer, I guess. That's probably why they thought I needed to be fixed there. I freaking saw that scene and fell out my chair. Got these two interacting, but then again, like I said, I had to, cause y'all know, if I miss out on something, I'll try my best to catch myself then, whether it's in editing, after editing, as I'm posting it then. But I did not have many dealings with SNK heroines, so... But I know what the roster looked like, and I just thought about, I'm like, wait a minute, they probably crossed paths in that game, and we keep forgetting somehow that game is canon. SNK's attempt at a tag team DOA style freaking fan service game is canon.
How?
I don't know. I mean, hey, y'all in the chat, y'all in the chat, tell me straight up in the chat then, like, you know, tell me, is it true that SNK Heroines is canon? Like,
did they do some Freaky Friday mess? Because there's like male or female versions of like.
Those are guest characters, except for maybe Terry. But the Terry thing was explained. I think like he had like a nightmare or something, and he had a freaking vision of what was it, Rock like freaking throwing him off of something.
Yeah, the whole thing takes place in like a dream thing. They're all in like a coma temporarily thing. And
I'll give them credit because they actually gave one of the more interesting characters, the newcomers that is from 14, they actually gave him a little something to do, even though I didn't expect something like this to be his work. Kukri, that is, because Kukri orchestrated the whole thing. He's behind the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Man. Which one of y'all said he'd come back with Melee?
Me.
Slap yourself, Syrin. You know what? That's the thing. Even if she's like a little bit older and taller, that still makes I'm like, because I don't think... I'm trying to think have those two even like crossed paths at all.
I feel like the most that would happen is Kim mentioned him.
Because if he trained her and all of a sudden she comes back and she's like tall and like a little bit more growed up. Oh my god, the Rugrats. Classic. Oh. But like, you know, it would still be weird. It's like you freaking coming back with her and everything, and it's like, we know about your reputation, man. You don't just come back with like, you know, trainees or whatever. You be... Somebody in the chat even said it too. What was it? Where is it? Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, the bomber's killing it tonight in the chat. What if Gongil is actually the Godfather and he tells everyone to get on the whole train? That's basic. Hey. So if y'all didn't watch the Guilty Gear stream then, like, because I was playing May and annoying the crap out of freaking Cheshire and my friend here or whatnot, I always make a joke about, even though you look at the Jellyfish Pirates, because if you can YouTube it right now, May's little freaking wind pose and everything, and like it's a it's the whole crew is there. Like they're pretty much posting for like some big old freaking selfie, even though I don't know what a whole bunch of nautical people would know about selfies, but whatever. But they look like characters out of like a I don't think a light novel is like the right word, but like those cheery, cutesy, bright, cheery anime, like those brightly colored ones and everything. They look like that. But then I'm like, think about it for a minute. These are pirates.
Exactly.
You do not know what they like. They might look cute on the outside. They might look all welcoming and they're all smiling and everything, but you don't know what they got hidden in the deck of the ship. You don't. You
Point in
don't.
case they stole the ships that they have from Zelp, from President Gabriel.
Just saying. So it's like, I mean, I know they're trying to like, I mean, come on now. I mean, Gon Gil is at least around that age, like, he could be like the old man that, you ever like, is that like a trope almost? Like the old man that can almost go around and like get any woman he wants because of one thing or another? Hey, hey, Luong, baby, you see, I ran a dojo. You see, that Kim guy and his sons, they all trained under me. They trained under me, baby. Yeah. So I might be a short man, but you see, I taught people how to use their legs, just so I can teach you how to use it. Let me stop.
Yeah.
Let me stop.
He's like, you see that? How many dojos he got, baby? None. Look at this. Look at this over here.
The word of the day on this edition of the Shattering is the word legs.
Yes, sir. I drink to that if I had.
Because that's all SNK gave us. Oh, snap. Hold on. Before we go, what else y'all got in the chat over here? Y'all chatting it up a little bit.
Jellyfish pirates is just every fetish there.
Oh, you in the chat. Okay, cool. Every fetish there is. Yes, you're right. Exactly. I keep trying to tell people that. It might snuck a tinfoil hat mess, but I'm serious. You don't know what they got. Like, come on now. Johnny, for example, Luong is kind of the jury of Street Fighter V or KOF. Don't know. By the way, I'm not going to go there. Anyways, don't know if you've seen the Luong mod. Yeah. Little known fact, if you watch, and I don't know how many of you caught it. If you caught it, you're a genius. If you didn't, I mean, it's okay. It's called getting crap past the radar if you look at TV tropes. Not really, because this wasn't even perverted, but when I reacted to all the theories and stuff on the TV tropes wild mass guessing page on KOF, when I talked about the KOF, when I talked about the Luong turning heel on Gon Gil and Kim storyline, the picture I used, that was that mod. Cause you see, like, she's chilling right there. She's got Jury's little sly smile on her face and everything. Like, yeah. I legit did that on purpose because, I mean, come on, man. That, like, they need to do that. Like, I don't think they're gonna make her a villain in this case, too, just based off of, like, what we've seen. But, hey, once again, like I just said about the Jellyfish Pirates, it looks so deceiving. I hope they do turn her bad. What if, like I said, I read that about the...
We had a whole conversation about...
Hold on. I kind of actually wanted Che Lim to make a comeback in 15. Che Lim, huh? Trying to think, was that one of the ones that Syrin wanted in there too? I'm not sure. Jose was like, they kind of wanted Che Lim to make a comeback in 15.
Che Lim.
Okay, I must have mixed up with somebody else then.
There's still time.
All right, you gotta chill with the freaking wrestling stuff. Yeah, heroines is canon because Oda said so. Oda 316 said heroines is canon. What? Jose saying it's canon. I mean, Oda himself said it though. That's him. Trans Terry Bogard is not canon. Remember, like as Syrin just said, it was a dream, and for some reason that man had nightmares about Rock throwing him off or something. And yes, Davy Jones locker Jose.
He had a nightmare of Kazuya in Smash.
I take that as a signal or a symbol of a transition to the next topic, and it's so interesting that you did that right there at the 1 hour mark. Clean.
Perfect timing.
Man, you did. Let me not do that. But yeah, because a couple of you dropped in, which by the way, thank y'all for that, because I thought y'all would be a little confused, like, they're playing something other than 2002 UM, what's going on here? But I mentioned the Guilty Gear Strive stream because a couple of you dropped by, I think maybe 2 of you, I think, and asked me what I thought about E3 as a whole. Funny thing, I was going to play a clip of the intro, the very first trailer for Guilty Gear Strive, where you see like the desert and everything, and then all of a sudden, because they showed it at Evo first, and then once they got to the freaking image of Soul and Kai's weapons, everybody popped. That right there was E3 in a nutshell. It was dry, and the only thing that held us over for the most part, and I said for the most part, was Guilty Gear Strive. I said Arxis won that mess without even being at E3. 300K, 300K in 3 weeks. In the fighting game since then, Arxis did it and they weren't even there. They announced nothing. They put a game out.
Is alone
300K plus, because I learned earlier that's just the physical sales. I wonder what the freaking sales are with everything, but they didn't even do anything but release the game. I mean, it's new and all that, but sometimes new games fall flat on their faces. You got all these people talking about, and I'm all for it. Like, hey, make some of these anime, like, animes, all this other stuff can make good games or whatnot. And people I laugh when people bring up One Punch Man, because did y'all not forget One Punch Man had a freaking fighting game that came out, and that mess fell miserably flat on his back?
My Hero Academia had 2 games.
I
didn't do good.
I forgot you told me that.
Yeah, they had 2 games. What was it? My Hero Academia had
I thought the only game they were in was like, what's it called? Jump Force.
No, they had their own like fighting game series. It was because the thing is, and I'm burnt out on Arena Fighters, but all of the anime that are getting converted into fighting games, they are doing that, but they're not doing it in like an appealing way that like brings a breath of fresh air to that type of fighting. Because what Black Clover did, Black Clover had a fighting game. One Piece had several fighting games that are, they were poorly received.
Yeah, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But that was my bad. Because Syrin did bring up a point then, because Nintendo did kind of throw their hat into the fighting game realm, even though a lot of people get really mad when you call Smash a fighting game. But I mean,
the only time I ever feel like a little off when someone says it's a fighting game is when there's like top 10 lists and they include like Mario as a pyromaniac. I'm like, but he's not originally from a fighting game.
I mean, I am always kind of toeing the line when it comes to stuff like that. Because I think Mr. Top 10 List might have done that. And shout out to Mr. Top 10 List. He makes good stuff as well. But, yeah. Smash got Kazuya now.
Yeah. I don't know if I sent it to you, but there's just this one video of just all these people like just being pissed that he's in here, and then there's plenty of people who aren't. Yeah, there's a couple people. You always get those people because they wanted like Crash or
Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, like one of my buddies, I told him about the announcement. He was mad because they didn't add another Metroid character.
Dang.
Metroid, like I know it's not fighting game related though, but I mean they did like that Metroid platform they put out. That looked really good. That looked interesting. It's so amazing. It's like for fighting games, E3 for me overall was just not for me because these two here play Smash more than I do. People like when I'll try it out with friends or whatever, oh, you're pretty good at this, and like I don't see it. But they are more invested in that than I am. Now, I will say that the trailer was actually really good. Like that was creative. It was creative. It surprised me to see, a Tekken character in Smash. Then the freaking gag with Kirby at the end made me laugh, so that was cool too. But I mean, there was nothing that I really got invested in. Like nothing. Like Capcom legit screwed up. Like you told people about Capcom Cup. Then I can only think of out of the I forgot the exact number of people, like the world population, but I'm pretty sure of the world's population, maybe 1,000 people don't know about Capcom Cup. And yeah, that's cool, bring in more people all you want, but Who's to guarantee these 1,000 people even cared? Golly,
Those
man.
1,000 people are probably just like infants. Let's be real. They
Golly,
don't
man.
know about it because they don't understand it.
But it's just so crazy. But it's like when it comes to other stuff, you know, Nintendo had it for me then. You know,
Yeah.
the Danganronpa, the freaking Life is Strange port, the frick like. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really count that for Nintendo because it ain't really just theirs though. But I mean, if y'all watch Syrin reacting, he said it. I've said it on before. Then the Great Ace Attorney. Come on now, that was really the only good thing for me that Capcom had, if you ask me. But we're
Well,
talking.
it's
But we're talking about.
Sherlock Holmes. Oh my God.
I mean, you.
Sherlock.
Well,
They're not even trying to be like. They're not even trying to hide it.
Well, the thing is, if you look at a lot of the names of the different characters in the Ace Attorney like universe, you'll kind of see why they arrived probably at that. Like
Yeah.
some of the stuff there is so punny. You're just kind of like, you killing me, man? Are you kidding me, man? Like the first witness in the first case is named Frank Solid. Yes,
Wow.
I'm serious. His name is Frank Solid. There's a like in the freaking like in the last game that came out, Spirit of Justice. Spirit of Justice, they go to a faraway land called Kurain, which is kind of like the place integrates elements when it comes like the culture there. It integrates like like Middle Eastern types of things in. There's a whole lot about spirituality there, mixing in like Christian and Hinduism and stuff reminiscent of those beliefs and everything. But yeah, one of the first witnesses, like one of the people involved, one of the first cases in that game is a monk named Peace, Love, and Understanding.
Ooh. Oh.
Such a long name. For such a...
If you want the longest name character in Ace Attorney, I know like his base name, I know maybe the first half. Like I know like the basic one because it comes up in like because it's a portion of the story. But yeah, same game about the one with the peace, love, and understanding guy. There is a justice minister in that game, and we just know him as, Justice Minister Inga or Minister Inga Kurain, Inga Karku Kurain the Third. But then in the later case, we learn that this is his name. Inga Karku Hauku does not be any longer or more pompous than it already is Kurain the Third.
Do I need to take notes, Chris? Like,
If you
Yeah,
want,
well, this won't be on the test.
if you want to get into Ace Attorney, then no. If you didn't catch it from like the broken English or whatever, the the excessive mess there was just basically them trying to make the words. How could this name be any longer or more pompous than it already is, but say it to make it seem like it's something foreign? I'm just bringing this up, so I'm like, now you can see why they arrived at Herlock Sholmes. Just saying.
For me,
And by the way, Jose is right. Then the oh, by the way, what's up, Mega Josh? Me personally, if you're not really into visual novels right that, yes, watch the anime because the anime is decent. But if you're just interested in it in general, I would recommend picking up the series. There's a bunch of different re-releases out there. PC, PS4, all of that. But there you go. That's how they arrived. Like, now you see these are the same people that made Herlock Sholmes. I think you get it now.
I get it.
You
I
see, you see how they name characters. But Bazooka Kazuya, that freaking name and freaking tied me up then. So people were mad about this. I actually thought this was kind of hype. If you ask.
Oh no, it was just a couple people, but it was just like this one video I had seen where it was just like some text to speech thing reading out just a couple people who were just pissed about it. But I was pretty excited. I think you saw my reaction, right?
Yeah, I did.
For me, at least, I think the most exciting thing for me at E3 was probably the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 sequel, getting some gameplay. I don't know if anyone here is into those kind of games, but
I
I've
know.
never played Breath of the Wild itself, but actually, I've never played Legend of Zelda. But I can say that it looks like a pretty good game. I've played like games that have that similar, like engine, I guess you could say, like what is it, Immortal Phoenix? Because people compare that to Breath of the Wild a lot.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is I should have I regretted not getting into Legend of Zelda when I should have back when. I mean, I still have it over there in the corner, but when I had just gotten an N64 because I went to this pawn shop and I had told a friend I had got this game there and they were like, "Man, you got gypped. Like even for $5, this was a freaking gyp, man. You in essence bought the bootleg freaking Zelda, and it's a game called Quest 64.
Oh my god.
That mess got boring pretty fast too.
I've heard of that one, yeah.
That mess got boring fast. But yeah. So what do you think about Bazooka Kazuya in Smash, Mr. Beam? Yeah, Mr. Bid and Mr. Beam.
Wow. So for me, I was excited. Like you ever see something like you see like such and such been announced on YouTube. You see the notification and you like audibly like say some shit like you like what like I was that was my reaction just from like seeing it because I think somebody just said that there was a new Smash character and I was like let me look it up and I saw Kazuya and I was like whoa.
Matter of fact,
So I looked at it.
I think I
Yeah,
told.
you
Yeah.
told me. But so I'm excited, especially considering that they're actually comparatively to Smash, giving him a Tekken-sized move list, comparatively speaking,
See,
because he had
that's the
times the move
thing. Oh,
Smash kick.
oh, really?
Yeah, 3 times.
That's the.
Now I don't know
Go
how
ahead.
they consider as like moves, like whether they're considering like each of the normal buttons and whatnot as moves, or whether they're just considering like the B attacks as the moves for the character. But Kazuya is gonna have 3 times that.
I think that was even though like I said I have a very limited I'm not deeply rooted in Smash like that, but knowing how the game plays, just basics, and knowing that they're gonna take this character and bring everything, move list wise from Tekken and integrate it into this game. Say what you want, but I just think that's impressive. I
It
think
is.
that's impressive.
I'm surprised they even got the 10 hitter in there.
Yeah, but I think you're advised usually not to use those unless you want to be cute. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
But I just
Who
thought,
knows?
but that right there, I think was just impressive. What do you two think about the sentiment where? Because I saw this a couple of times, and I know they were joke. Well, I want to say they were semi joking, But what do you think about people that would be saying for all of you that talk about this is not a fighting game, it's sure bringing in a lot of guest fighting game characters. What do you think of that?
I mean, Smash never. Smash never wasn't like not a fighting game. It's always been a fighting game. It might not have been intended to be a fighting game by the developers, but it is
Do you think?
because
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, because I was about to say it was one of those instances, just like with like I think it was like the first or second Street Fighter where like people were actually doing combos, but the developers hadn't actually like plotted that in, where players were figuring things out
Mm-hmm.
that they could do in the game that the developers hadn't taken into consideration, and it became like a competitive thing.
Syrin.
Uh, I don't know. It's a fighting game to me. It's always has been. You beat each other up, and that's really just kind of.
Because because I don't see how people wouldn't consider it a fighting game. You have like it's in a different form, but you do have like neutral, and you have like different zoning characters. You have like frame data, invincibility, all that stuff, just like a fighting game. So I don't see how people don't consider it a fighting game.
Because it got no health bars, traditional ones.
There is a stamina mode, which basically is the exact same thing.
It's literally almost like the negative version of a regular match. You pretty much have health, basically, like in the form of like a number, and then every time you take that, get hit, that percentage number will go down, and when it goes to zero, then your character just dies. You don't have to like knock them off the stage; they just die.
Which gives you just a more specific number of what your health is, other than, oh, my bar has gone below this point.
And if you ask me, I think their unique take on that is what I think makes it stand out. Like, I don't think that should disqualify it from being a fighting game. You
Because
know,
like for instance,
because usually most fighting games, you know what it is. You know, reduce the person's hit point down to zero, and then bam. You know, I think have like, I think even I don't, I think with them it's a standout way of like approaching a fighting game. I guess is the best way to put it. I mean, how many other games are doing that? Then I mean, you hear me like in several cases talking about like cool fighting game characters, and I'm like, you know, you got a lot of cool characters out there, but very few come close to being as cool as a heavy metal witch shooting projectiles from her hat, and not only shooting projectiles from the guitar, but whooping you with it, flying on it. Instant kill in the previous, like one of the older Guilty Gear games, summoning a concert and legit just playing you out. Legit playing you out. You're destroyed afterwards. So I mean,
the
it's unique. I think it's just unique.
it is. Wasn't this super she has in this one? What didn't that used to be like an old insta kill in one of the games?
It kind of resembled her Exard. The little thing, it resembled that a little bit. Except, you know, they were higher up in the sky.
Oh yeah.
But like I was gonna say, because I looked up, because I wanted to look up this one game. Then again, I mean, I know it's still a fighting game, but like, it's a, it's a bad one. It's a bad one. But they want to talk about health bars in this. Shout outs to Jam Crofts, by the way. He held the tournament in Blandia.
What is that?
This is a fighting game, a weapon fighter that came out in '92. And that mess is, like I said, you can check out JM Crofts' YouTube. He posted this actually last month. But yeah, I only know about this because I've been doing research for like a special series on here. But yeah, there are moves in Blandia like you do them, but they do no damage. The fireballs do little to nothing with the damage. Like I think somebody legit sat down and calculated. I hope they were being honest about this, because on one hand, looking at how the fireballs do so little damage, it makes sense, but on the other hand, it seems a little hyperbolic. But this person apparently sat down and calculated that it would take 400 fireballs to land to kill a person in this game.
Oh my god.
That's
Does
it.
it do negative damage or something?
It just did like nothing. Like it was almost like the big final boss in like a game mocking you, like, ha 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 ha, you stupid mess that you spent all that time freaking practicing. Ha! You do nothing to me. Nothing. Oh my god. But I just brought that up because it's like, I mean, that mess has health bars, but that mess is considered awful. If you put Blandia in front of me and Smash in front of me, I am not that good at Smash, but I am gonna play Smash. Blandia, that mess, like, I don't even think that mess is even boring enough to put you to sleep. That mess is anguish. I mean, if you're gonna be boring, at least freaking, you know, have a little bit of like a lavender like aura about you. Like, at least put me to sleep and put me out of the misery of having to go through it. But no, that mess is anguish. Because you'll be playing it and you're sitting there wondering, like, why is this mess, like, why am I not doing any damage? Oh, because fireballs suck in this game.
Sounds like Blandy is pretty bland.
Which is messed up because Jam Cross made a joke about, yeah, aptly named. And the characters are not even really all that inspirational. Like, they're not even really all that unique either. Like, it's terrible. It's terrible. But I just think, like, you know, even being on the outside looking in and seeing a character like Kazuya being in Smash and then bringing stuff over, I think it's pretty cool. Like, the fact they're actually gonna like bring that big freaking Tekken move list over. You.
I'm absolutely garbage at Tekken. The only characters I can play in 7 are probably like Geese and Akuma, and those aren't even originally from Tekken.
Well, they're in the game, so anybody that wants to throw that mess at you can freaking I'll just put it like this. I'm pretty sure everybody lives where there's a grocery store. Go find the section where the Wevels are. Get to sucking. They're in the game. They're there. Shut it. Shut it or
So
freaking punish it. But like, do y'all think with Kazuya and people looking at the whole Geese Howard thing in Tekken, do you think there's like a new wave of Tekken guest characters coming? Like, do you think it's gonna be a Tekken character in KOF 15?
that would be interesting, especially since Geese is in Tekken.
And also, there was a Tekken crossover thing in KOF All Stars, where a bunch of Tekken characters have made it into it.
Didn't KOF All Stars cross over with a little bit of everybody? Like Guilty Gear, friggin'
Did they? I thought it was Blaze Blue they crossed over with. I might be wrong.
probably is.
They crossed over with a couple of people, including WWE, which I thought was weird because they looked so out of place.
I mean, well, not so much then, because a lot of people in the chat can tell you. I know The Rock was in there then, and in 2002 Angel has the People's Elbow as like a super, so it may not look like it from what you've seen.
Their character models look out of place, not their moves themselves.
Well, I mean, like that would probably bring them together. Think about it. It's like, because I mean, think about it. You think freaking a lot of the Marvel vs. Capcom characters look in place when they're, fighting against each other? Like, some of them, yeah, but not all of them. But then you got freaking... Whenever, like, Ryu beats Deadpool, he's like, you stole my Shoryuken? Wait, when did you... Goken never said anything about some guy in a red suit freaking coming over here learning how to throw, like, Hadokens, and I'm pretty sure Goken advised us not to use firearms. And where did this whole obsession with the chimichangas come from? Like,
So Syrin, you play Smash and whatnot, right? Or more than I. So I talked with Chris about this a few days ago, and I don't know whether it's just like the general people that I play with, or whether it's like a Smash wide thing. So, for instance, Terry Bogard, when he dropped, right, there were at least in my circle, there were little to no people playing him, right? So one thing that I kept hearing, and this had to do with Ryu and Ken and Terry Bogard, they said that his actual fighting game inputs were too hard for them to do. And even with like Ryu and Ken, how you can do like the red Hadouken if you actually do the quarter circle input in Smash, they, for whatever reason, they felt accomplished that they did that, right? Instead of just, your typical side B, up B, down B, and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
For me, it was a little different. Since I tend to overthink things from time to time when I was playing, when I play some of these games, I thought that when I first saw Ryu and Ken's like input thing, I wasn't thinking, "Oh, this is too hard." I was just thinking, "Oh, I just am unable to do this." I guess that means it's too hard, but I didn't say that directly. But basically, what I thought you had to do was you had to, when I saw the actual inputs, I thought you had to, like, instead of actually doing a motion of a quarter circle forward, I thought you had to press those directions, then hit the button. Not like in a fast way, but like manually every time. Hit it, reset, hit the next one, reset, hit the next one, reset, button. And like, that's how I'll get the Hadouken. I was very wrong, and then I saw the Smash Direct, and I'm like, oh, that's how it works. It's
like when the Terry Bogard came out, I didn't main him, but he was one of the people I was playing around with. When I say people were so mad that I was like, when he got over 100% and I was consistently hitting them with Buster Wolf and Power Geyser, because I think it's like half circle back.
Power Geyser.
Yeah, it was like quarter circle back, half circle forward for the Power Geyser, and then Buster Wolf was like double quarter circle forward.
Yeah,
but they were like dumbfounded that I was like consistently doing that, and from my end, I play Smash, but I also play like a bunch of other fighting games where those inputs are commonplace. So I'm like, why are you impressed by that? Like, I is like regular like Street Fighter KOF like stuff.
because I think the people who come from Smash aren't used to that, and they're like, oh, it's just a simple, fun fighting game, right?
Yeah.
And then they see that, and they're like, oh,
Because like what I've been doing, like since I got down here to Texas, is like for me at least, I enjoy like trying to put people on new fighting games. Because most of the people down here on base, I'll tell you this, all right, almost I'll say about 50 to 60% of anybody that's lower enlisted in the military has a Switch and they play Smash.
all right,
So I've had fun like getting them out of like the bubble of that one game. Not to say that I don't like them playing Smash or that I don't like playing Smash, but I try to, expand them a little bit. It's like, hey, you want to try out Tekken, and I'll, show you the ropes and this, that, and the other. And one of my buddies, Pink, and yes, his God-given name is Pink. I got him into Tekken. And he started out, low level. He was at the stage, he would get mad because he couldn't figure stuff out and blah blah blah. But now he's pretty formidable, like against me. And for me, that's like I'm proud of that because, and this is a PSA. I don't like beating people that I know I can beat. Right?
yeah,
I would rather teach you how to be better at the game. That way we can actually have good matches. Because if I spend all my time beating people that I know how to beat, then I'm going to get sloppy. And then when I fight somebody that actually knows what they're doing, I'm going to get fucking squashed.
yeah. I did the same thing with people who. There's like, I tried to get my cousin into KOF, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he didn't know exactly what he's doing. He was having kind of fun with some of the characters. But he didn't really know what he's doing, and I didn't want to just wail on him. So I decided to go easy on him. And easy, and I tried to, like, there's this thing I would do, basically, where, like, if I was starting to, if he was starting to lose a round and I wanted to keep going, I would make it seem like he kind of won the round.
Yeah.
Let him keep going, and then try and get him to naturally get into it, and then teach him things. But I never got that far.
Yeah, because like when I'm like helping somebody, even when I was learning, like the best way that I learned was under stress. Like if somebody was consistently beating my ass, I was gonna figure out some way somehow how to not get my ass whooped. So when I was training Pink, like I was putting him in the blender. And I wasn't like trying to style on him or like getting myself hyped up. I was just playing like I normally would.
Yeah.
And until he like, okay, I gotta block low, block high. If he does this, I can, punish him, this, that, and the other. So like over time, he actually got pretty good at taking. And now we actually have these really, really close matches, except for that one match that he fought with Chris where he parried his super. that is still
God.
It is still hilarious to this day. Pink was playing he was playing Steve, and Chris here was playing Geese. Pink went for his super and Chris parried it. Geese is the only character in Tekken that can parry a super. Pink was mad. I mean, mad.
For the record, he said it, not me.
It reminds me
He
of
said
this
it,
one
not
thing.
me.
This reminds me of this one thing I had done when I was playing with this one guy. His name, we call him Blood, but he liked Terry quite a bit in Smash, but he hadn't actually ever played a KOF game. So I'd kind of he knew how to do quarter circles and all that stuff. So I was trying to slowly get him into the game, although the internet connection was horrible because it was through. Usually the internet connection shouldn't be that bad, but apparently the connection on Steam's remote play thing is not amazing somehow. It's supposed to be, I don't know. But that's besides the point. I had done this thing, you know how Rio has a parry?
Yeah.
So Maiden Kun is the character he plays, right? And he has this super that allows you to that just hits a couple times, right?
Yeah.
He finally had it come out after him trying it, and I parried literally every single hit because Rio has his parry.
Oh, you talking about the big combo super that Manchen-kun has?
He has like this. I think it's his core circle forward plus kicks twice, or maybe it's back to forth. I don't remember exactly. I don't play a lot of Manchen-kun, but it's just like his. It's just like one of the standard supers.
Was it like the move like where he basically teases like he's about to go to sleep, but then he just starts like wailing on you? Because he
That's
has.
what I'm talking about, where he like does a bunch of like punches, like he throws the pillow up in the air, like does like a beat 'em up combo, and he like
Well,
catches.
well, hold on. That didn't exist in 14 though.
Whoa, dang! I know what you're talking about, but he had the two supers. He had the one where he like jumps up in the air and it like it's like an explosion, and then he like falls back to the ground and goes to sleep. And then he had the other one where he like basically beats you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one.
Yeah, like he teases like he's going to sleep, but instead, like, I mean, he probably still is sleeping, but he's still whooping you up and everything. I just love how everything's transitioning here, as far as like subject series, since we're talking about player like level and stuff like that. Before we get to that portion, let me see what the chat's got going on over here. So Johnny is like, Smash is the perfect example of the big rooster obsession. 2 weeks from now, no one's going to even care about Kazuya. I'll agree with that in the sense more because it's kind of funny because they were just talking about it, but being intimidated by something that is so new like Kazuya, unless they've played Tekken before and kind of have prior knowledge. So in that way, I can see it because that's one of the ways some guest characters can flop, like in the general sense. You bring them into a game, and it's like maybe they're so like out there, whether it's commands, whether it's fighting style, and it's so much so that it's like the fan base might not care about them. But I guess only time will tell. But I could see it if, because I mean, like I said, Tekken's a very intimidating game to get into. Like people, when I've gone to compete, like you know, just for fun, because at the time I wasn't really in Tekken like that. When I was really thinking about, getting serious about it, they were talking about, well, you got to sit there and study a lot of stuff. Your move list, the character's move list, frame data of this stuff, all of that. So I guess only time will tell.
Yeah.
Jose, I actually wanted Heihachi, Mishima, Jin Kazama, and Smash Ultimate because, like Kazuya, they're also the most iconic characters in the Tekken series. Jin, yeah. Me personally, Heihachi, no, because Heihachi, I mean,
is in everything.
maybe it's mean for me to say this because unfortunately the game didn't really get off the ground, but I was just thinking about him in that
PlayStation All Stars.
Yes.
I don't care what anybody says. I enjoyed that game.
Looking at the way it plays, I didn't even really get like the whole Smash ripoff thing. Aside from like the way you just, the perspective that the player is like looking at it, and the fact it kind of has like that format. But once I had gotten to like how people play it, that kind of broke the mold.
I mean, if you want to say that, then there's so many other games that just rip off of Smash. Like, let's see.
Well, there are some that rip off Smash and they don't try to do anything different. The only thing different is the character.
Yeah.
One that's been like long lasting pretty so far as Brawlhalla.
Brawlhalla is undeniably unique for like what it is though. Like it has a certain charm to it that actually, somebody will, when they try to get someone into it, they'll liken it to Smash. But then when you're playing it and you're invested in Brawlhalla, you're like, this is Brawlhalla.
It's
not Dime Store Smash.
It's like a weapon based Smash.
Yeah.
It's the Soul Calibur to Smash's Tekken.
Yeah.
Jose is also hoping for Ryu Hayabusa to be in Smash. That's a good pick if you ask me. I'm surprised.
The characters I want are there is like a very low to slim chance because they're such oddball characters. But in terms of popular characters, I'd like to see. Yeah, I gotta click. So, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people are still pining for Sora from Kingdom Hearts, and I get why. I get why because I played the Kingdom Hearts games, so I mean I get
There's
it.
characters. There's popular
Is
characters.
are any of the Kingdom Hearts games on like any Nintendo consoles? Like have they ever been ported?
I feel like there's one on GameCube, but I'm not even 100% sure about that.
Because I
So
know whenever what season of DLC is this for Smash?
this is Fighter Pass 2. So
Okay,
Oh,
so
only
at
two.
the beginning of it, people were like they were data mining like heavy to try to find out like who could be in the fighter pass because whenever what was their name not Corin but uh
Violet.
yeah, Byleth. Whenever Byleth came, or before she came out, people were like big braining and doing like the Black Dynamite chalkboard scene to like try to figure out who it was. It was like, oh, it's a weapon based like character that like has uses different weapons, blah blah blah. Wait a minute. A few months ago, Devil May Cry 1 through 3 got like brought over to like Nintendo in the Nintendo store. Devil May Cry is on Nintendo now, so that must mean that Dante is coming to Smash. And to everybody's disappointment, which I still think Violet is a cool character, by the way, but to everybody's disappointment, yeah,
Yeah.
to everybody's disappointment, it was Violet, and it wasn't even so much that she's a bad character. It's just that
It's
everybody was
just Fire
expecting.
Emblem.
I mean that too, but it was also the fact that everybody was expecting Dante.
I
I
mean, if
just remember all of them.
they're gonna go by that marketing right there, then since they didn't brought some dang and rump reports to the freaking Nintendo now, y'all want me to? You want to make me
The
play?
most viable
Wanna make
theory
me?
I've seen.
You want to make
They're
me?
gonna,
You want to make me play Smash? Then put Junko or freaking Peko Pekayama in freaking in freaking Smash.
they'll put that freaking
Junko,
what's
Junko
bear's
is
name?
what?
What's the bear like the half black half
No, Monokuma, no.
like
even
if
even though I would buy,
it would be that bear.
I would. Oh Lord, I'm not saying he'd be. I'm not saying Monokuma wouldn't be good. It's just like, oh my God, that's a villain right there. That's a villain right there. Monokuma, that's a villain right there. But yeah, going down here. Would you have to yeah, someone say Siren?
Oh yeah, one of the most viable, I think, Smash theories I've heard is something having to do with the Smash website and there potentially being like a bonus character because of like this theme. I'll have to send. I'll send it in the group chat if you guys want to check it out later. But it's basically like this theory that since there's like a reoccurring thing having the Smash website and the DLC, that there's potentially a chance for there to be like a final character, like to fill out the roster. I don't know. I'm not great at speaking,
Because you're the last character in the season, or are there more in
there's
this
one
season?
more after Kazuya.
And there's that another game down on one final character to reveal because Street Fighter V hasn't revealed their last character either in this current pass. Because
Watch it
everybody,
be the same character.
as in who?
I have no idea. When in doubt,
you mean like it'll be somebody like not worth the wait? Is what you're saying?
maybe I'm saying maybe it's just the same exact character. Maybe they both get Dante. Who knows?
I mean, we'll see. I mean, only
As much
person.
as I want it to be like an SNK character, making it into Street Fighter Five.
That would be
If
interesting.
it's an SNK character, it's got to be somebody that has never like crossed like paths with anybody in like Capcom in any way, shape, or form. That means nobody who
So
was in
Shune?
nobody who was in CVS, nobody who was in SVC, none of this other stuff. Like, with the exception of like maybe a few characters, I just want to do something different. That's all, man. I mean, I like Kyo. I think Kyo obviously one of like the best fighting game protagonists of all time, but put him in freaking Street Fighter V though? Like,
It could be Shune.
doubt it.
I mean, if you're going off of that, I don't know. Maybe it could also.
There's plenty of other characters that haven't crossed paths with them than Kukri,
I guess.
Blue Wong.
Kukri, yeah.
Like every person in KOF has not been in like SVC
But
and
from like
CVS.
from a brand perspective, why would they choose those characters?
Well, why would you choose Shun'ei from a brand perspective? Y'all failed. Y'all failed.
They're trying to push him as the protagonist.
They had a chance at that and they failed.
Yeah,
they failed. Like, I mean, now don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Or
K-Dash. That's a good choice. K-Dash. Why not him?
Or Ash. Or
Ash Crimson. I'd be down for that. Come on. Like, seriously, it's like like I said, Kyo is cool and everything then, but it's like I don't want it to be somebody like Kyo, Rio, Kim.
I don't think they would do Rio.
Like nobody, no legacy characters, man. Give me something new. Like I said, Ash. I'm not even like that big of a fan of Ash Crimson, by the way, but that'd be cool. Freaking K-Dash. Good idea. Great idea.
Toto, but he was in the other game, so.
Some people wanted Shantae in Smash Ultimate, but if you look at Shovel Knight as the assist trophy, it's probably never going to happen. That would be interesting. They put Shantae in there.
I would love to see like the guy from Terraria make it in, but that's just being a massive Terraria fan.
Leona Hydern for Smash Ultimate.
I'd be down for that. Like how many times has Leona had a chance to really cross over outside of like, you know, some of the stuff you can instantly think of? I mean, Kyo's been like, I mean, I know Kyo doesn't have like a lot of crossovers to his name, but I mean, it's freaking Kyo.
Yeah.
I mean, Rio, if you watch the last Rio, like 10 Fascinating Facts video, you know that man has a history of guest character. Like, this man pulled a 3D doubleheader in 1999.
Yeah.
Guest character, Ryo Sakazaki. 2 games in the same year, 3D fighting games, Rio was a guest. That man got history. He got history.
Krauser. Street Fighter 5.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be interesting. Like Krauser.
We have 0 characters.
Have Krauser like go up against like, you know, all the wrestlers in that verse then. What would Mika and Geef say when they see Krauser?
Or maybe even like Kane or Terrain.
Yeah, freaking Leona would be pretty dangerous in Smash because we saw how potent charge characters in a game where they don't have to charge are.
I wouldn't even want Leona. Excuse me, a Leone na. You freaking grammar nerds. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna keep pronouncing her name like that since people want to make fun of folks constantly like mispronouncing it. Then I just call her Leone na no. Yeah. So anyways, Leone na no. Yeah, I'd be down for her in Street Fighter. Like that'd be good.
Yeah,
it would be interesting.
I think in Smash, like you want to put her in there, you want to get a very popular character some heat because, as you know, you just mentioned, Leone Nuna Numo is freaking a charge character. So, our Smash players are accustomed to charge characters?
You remember how annoying Batista was in Cross Tag because you didn't have to charge any of her stuff?
I mean, but that kind of went across the board.
I mean, yeah, that was across the board.
But I mean, you have a point still.
Because
there were people that played cross tag and then they went back and they figured, I love Batista, I love these characters. I'm gonna go in and play them as a unit. Yeah, what? Charge character, what?
Dinkelberg.
And since like y'all were talking about it earlier, then this is like a hot topic well, I ain't gonna say it's a hot topic, it's just something that I've just noticed an influx in just recently, and like it goes for KOF. I've been seeing it with Strive, any other game I guess made in like the recent era, the new era, whatever you want to call it. But all this talk about the developers' eagerness and attempts to reach and pull in the casual audience is destroying fighting games because it is narrowing the skill gap.
It's really not.
Yeah.
Now,
No.
I think Mr. Cheshirebeam sent me something that's my phone, sorry. My bad. But yeah, he sent me a video probably a couple days ago, but I didn't watch it because
Yeah.
I'm but I know Max was talking about, it's I mean, if you want to watch it yourself then it's called Real Talk: The Casual Appeal of Strive Top 5 Reasons. I did not watch the full video, but I did catch an outtake, and I forgot it. Like, I would play it, but like, I mean, we're gonna just discuss it and everything. But I do want to give props to this one person that made this comment. As a matter of fact, two. First, let me say the. Let me read the funny one first. 'Cause I just saw this one. Shout outs to Rufus Trotsky. I'm not sure if they'll watch us, but still, I give you props for this. Guilty Gear fans knew they could not change society, so instead of reflecting on themselves, they blamed the casuals.
Yeah.
Props. Now for like the one thing that I thought wonderfully summed this up, I think this person just killed it. Straight up. Shoutouts to Jake Crowley. He says, I hate the casualizing of games as much as the next guy, but people worrying about someone unskilled beating a pro is just laughable and kind of insulting. If someone is a pro, it's not because they're just mechanical gods. There's a whole set of fundamentals, acumen, know how, and wisdom that are involved. I mean, just because a hammer is an easily recognizable and easy to use object, a pro with a hammer will know how to not smash their thumb or miss a nail head, etc. Just because the tool is easy to use doesn't mean it doesn't take a certain skill set to unlock its actual potential.
Okay. I thought you was talking about another.
Anyone could swing a sword, but no one can. Not everyone can swing it
Uh,
properly.
there's another comment from Harris Tamori.
I mean, I'm just
Uh,
going off of like what the first one I saw. Like, it's the top one, yeah, but I think this right here just summed it up like perfectly. Like, perfectly. It's like,
yeah. Because it doesn't mean somebody that picked up the game yesterday is gonna go on tomorrow to win Evo
by the way, I'm
because
laughing. By the way,
it is
by the way,
easy
my
to
bad.
play.
By the way, my bad for laughing. Johnny freaking made me laugh, but repeat what you said.
But like, yeah, like just because the game is more accessible, like okay, so like Max said in his video, there is an easier entry level skill cap to the game to appeal to more casual people, the people that aren't gonna try to grind their way to the top of the towers or be the best online. There's an easy enough skill level like entry point to where they can learn the basics of the game and have fun with it. Because in with Strive, for instance, Max was saying literally the vast majority of the people that are playing that game online are gonna be in like the sixth floor and below. They're not trying to just, you know, be the best of the best or whatever. They're just trying to play with some people online and have fun and see some cool, spectacular supers. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all people want. Everybody doesn't want to be the next Evo champ or be like the best like FGC like player for their state or whatever the case is. Some people just want to hop on every now and then and have some fun, you know. And that's like what they're trying to appeal to, with also giving giving more nuance and depth to the mechanics, so that higher level people can still have stuff that they can figure out and perfect on. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because you can play the game like with Guilty Gear friends. You can play the game without doing Roman councils. You can play the game without like knowing how to do like tick throws and this, that, and the other. You can have fun with it without knowing how to do those things or without doing those things.
Yeah, like it's just really like it's flabbergasting is the best way I could put it. I know I use that word a lot on here, but it's like that's the best way I could put it. It's because I think I might have I don't know if we were I don't know if like I just met up in like the the Discord with the Syrin Richxson universe. Shout outs to everybody there, Pancake Sauce, Raspy, everybody. Hope y'all are doing all right. But I don't know, like, cause there was one time I had just happened to like pass by, and I think somebody there was playing Skullgirls, and I joined in, and then Syrin and I played 2002 UM. But we had a conversation about. Well, actually, I think I asked him about this sometime, whatever. But it was about what like. What did he? I asked him what he thought about people that complain about auto combos in fighting games, and he called it childish, which I agree
Exactly.
with because it's like, look, none of us here, before anybody goes there, nobody here is trying to sit here and say you gotta like everything about a game. I legit did a couple of videos, particularly one where I talked about what I did like about KOF 15 thus far and what I didn't like. I had to call like my review of it thus far as rational as it can get. I'm not on the shill side or I'm not on the freaking super high S tier freaking hater contrarian side either. Straight down the middle. But at the same time, it's like these people don't listen to themselves talk sometimes. It's not so much that you don't like it, but it's like now you're talking about, oh, auto combos are there to baby people, and real fighting games don't need them. Like, if you really want to get good at them, it's like, because see, Syrin has always been of the opinion that KOF 15 is kind of sort of bridging the gap, or I guess maybe the midpoint, far as the way it's seemingly playing from what we know, because we don't have any idea about the mechanics in detail yet. But just off of first glance, it's kind of sort of in the center, bridging the gaps between 13 and 14. Because a lot of the stuff from 13 made a comeback. No more EX restricted, mode EX moves, which I know a lot of people didn't like in 14, including me. But it's like, you got people saying like, if KOF was like a real fighting, if KOF 15 is gonna be a real fighting game, yeah, you hear about netcode and everything, and I'm not getting into that, obvious reasons. I said my piece on that, anyways. But then you have people talk about, they need to take that freaking, I don't know if it was called smart combos or whatever the heck. It was an auto combo feature regardless. That needs to go, And then they sit there and like, we need to bring back the awesome gameplay of KOF 13. And it's like, these will be the same people that talk about how much these games have to appeal to casuals. You make a game like a KOF 13, the same casuals that y'all are thinking you're talking about will run scared. Because I know a lot of these casuals will watch people like Punk, Justin Wong, Smug, whoever else is out there taking on the 13 trials. Because it's the thing to do now, I guess. To hype up 15, or one person did it and now everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, it's cool regardless. Because all the videos are entertaining.
These Street Fighter 5 people will actually play.
Well,
like Justin Wong. And
I know. Justin Wong's not a Street Fighter 5 person. Justin Wong plays everything. That man plays everything. This man, one of my close friends, loves this one puzzle game, and I like it too, but I'm not head over heels in love with it like he is. But it's this puzzle game called Magical Drop, and somebody on commentary alluded to Justin Wong playing it, and it just so happened that Justin Wong was one of the featured guests at a convention that we all went to, and he got a chance to play him. It's like that man lived in the arcade. That man plays everything. Smug, kind of sort of a Street Fighter person, even though his video playing Strive was awesome. It was really good.
Acting like you won't get command grab
every single day. Punk, I'm guessing like that was kind of his rise, I guess then. So I mean, maybe so. Maybe Punk played a bunch of other things. I don't know. I think he's been playing Strive, but I think everybody's kind of been getting on Strive.
Exactly.
But it's like, the people, and I'm saying this from the perspective that they put out, because I know all casuals aren't the same. I know casuals that compete. They'll sit there and self-identify. I don't know if he's watching then, but I know he commented on one of my videos, and it's the first time I've heard from him in a year. But shout outs to John Giff. If you're watching, hope you're doing good and everything. You ain't got to say anything in the chat if you don't want to. Just good to have you here watching if you're there. He'll tell you straight up he's a casual. But he competes, you know, he'll do it here and there. You know, he'll still watch like majors and look up videos about tech and stuff like this. Like he's into the intricacies of like the competitive, you know, meta and stuff and all that. But he's still a casual. And I'm pretty sure there's plenty of casuals like that that aren't try hard for lifers, I guess. That was me. That was me. My bad. My bad. That was me. My bad. My bad. But it's like the way I'm just saying, like y'all say like one thing in one breath, but then it's like, oh, you know, the casuals and everything, and it's true, you have to, because if they made these games just for the competitive freaking scene, they wouldn't be selling in the millions like they are now. Guilty Gear Strive did not get 300K in 3 days off of appealing to just competitive players, because it's all a bunch of y'all that go around talking about, you know, we need more new IP fighting games and everything and all this, then, and then you want Guilty Gear Strive to play like Exard, like Accent Core Plus. Come on now. But back to this whole thing with the casuals thing, I have never seen auto combos break no recent fighting game in memory. And don't you be trying to bring up some freaking old stuff where there's a whole bunch of exploitable bugs and glitches. Okay? But it's like, that is just, like, I agree with Syrin. That's childish, man. Like, you had, because it's not even like, you know, people saying, like, I hate auto combos. I mean, if you don't like it, that's cool. I can't tell you what to like. The same way you can't tell certain people what to like either. The reason why a lot of people didn't buy a lot of these little anime fighting games you're talking about, because people didn't like them for one reason or another. I think Johnny in the chat mentioned that the little arena games are niche. A lot of people don't like those types of fighting games. Right here, me, never liked them. The Naruto mess, don't like it. Like, J-Stars was as good as it got to me, but I don't think J-Stars is balanced. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think J-Stars is balanced. I played Hiei, Yusuke, and Koro Sensei. Do with that what you will. And believe me, I want me a Yu Yu Hakusho fighting game, but I don't want to see that mess unless, hey, say what you want. It's got to be one of the biggins. You know, the big 5, 6, 7, whatever heck. That's the name of a freaking cafe down here, by the way, 5, 6, 7. You know, but I'm talking about like the midway, like not midway, but NetherRealm, Namco, whatever. Either that or some good indie developer has to make this mess. I do not want to see another Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament. That was an insult. And if you haven't seen what that mess looks like, YouTube is your friend. That mess is garbage. That mess is garbage.
Where the animes were like converted into video games or fighting games, that is, I feel like there wasn't anybody like that plays fighting games or that, you know, is, you know, proficient with making fighting.
The only game, like, obviously they didn't. Like, the only game I think that has a freaking chance of really doing something if they push it right is DNF Duel. Because I'm interested in the mess and I don't know nothing about DNF Duel. Aside from the fact, what is it, RPG? MOBA?
It's an RPG.
It's an RPG. Cool.
Yeah, it's like an MMO RPG, something like that.
Well, there you go. But it's like, when I watch, because people like always say, oh, it's Dragon Ball Fighters auto combos. When I watch high level play of Dragon Ball Fighters, I don't see Sonic Fox and Apology Man and all these other freaking high level players just freaking jabbing it out or whatever. It's like, you can dislike auto combos, but when you get on your own freaking, I'm trying not to freaking say it vulgar way since freaking Syrin laid down the law earlier, get off your own ego. That's all I gotta say. How in the world is somebody who is like mashing auto combos appear in god tier like rank, but me, I grinded all my years and played all my life. I've been doing this, playing this mess since I was in diapers and learning combos and stuff. But this stupid newbie who just picked the mess up yesterday is in god tier rank because he auto comboed his way there.
I thought you turned into Anti-Lotus for a second.
No. I made Syrin didn't look at what I did with the real estate here. I ensured there will be no cameos from that filth, okay?
And filth. But yeah, like, even in that case, like, I don't know whether they don't understand it or not or get the physics of it, but aren't auto combos, and correct me if I'm wrong, aren't they, one, easy to block, and two, very punishable?
What's the second thing you said?
Very punishable.
In certain cases, they're punishable. In certain cases, they aren't. But it's like, I mean, you're not going to get anywhere doing it Like most auto combos, like the one example I get instantly is, and it's because I played this character in Persona 4 Arena, which somebody said was a bad game because of auto combos. My foot. Trying to turn British. But it's like Chie had a mix up in her auto combo, and it was basically a high low. Anybody that has played this mess, unless you just haven't played anybody that likes Chie because they think freaking tomboyish, spunky chicks with bowl cuts are unattractive or fun to play, okay, fine, that's cool. Everybody got a preference, but it's like if you played this game enough and studied it and is good at, as godlike as you say you are and as fundamentally rooted as you say you are, you should not be getting constantly opened up by a high-low mix-up that doesn't change one bit. You shouldn't. And you see, this is my last bit because I've been going on for a long time now. I know Syrin was over there fuming to say something, which is funny because the moment I said fuming, Robert freaking got like some fire on him before he charged his freaking kick. The fool. I still hate SNK for giving him more of his stuff in than Rio. My bad. But it's like, so I know a couple of you, and I know I didn't address this because I was kind of mad during the stream a little bit because of the whole SNK rollback thing and all that. Because somebody brought up, the whole thing with like Max and all that. Like I said, the first thing that I had said was like, hey, everybody got stands. I'm pretty sure I got some. Not a whole lot, but maybe one or two. I got stands. But people wonder like, what's the appeal of him and everything? Then it's like, nah, I'm not gonna say you have to like him. I can't tell anybody in here what to like. I can't. I legit tried to teach Syrin about freaking why Capcom, the people that work on Ace Attorney, came up with Herlock Sholmes, and this man like he's about to tap out. Man about to tap out of the freaking class. Is this on the note? Like, is this on the test? Is this on the test? I gotta write this down. This man about ready to quit. He was about ready to quit. He was about ready to quit. He was about to rage quit.
This guy's on to me.
He was about to rage quit. So it's like, but anyways, like the reason why I think Max has the appeal that he does is like, first of all, people talk about him the same way they talk about The Undertaker. It's amazing all this wrestling we've been talking about today, but I love it. People talk about him backstage. They mention when you're hanging out with him and talking with him and everything, whether it's somebody who's a young and up and comer or whether it's somebody that might have been in the business as long as he has. This man treats you with such respect and is so down to earth, you forget that, man, this guy is one of the biggest stars on the planet. You chill with him and you talk with him like he interacts with you, then you think like he's a regular person like you. I think a lot of people like that about Max. And number two, because of stuff like this, like the videos talking about, the casual appeal of Guilty Gear Strive and why it's not that bad and everything. Now, there's a couple of other people that are pros and professionals that do good at this as well, but not a lot, in my opinion. Max and a handful of others, maybe I don't know if Kizzy K might have addressed this, maybe he had, but these are pro players that are actually more rational and I think are more in touch when talking about the casual mindset. Because most pro players these days just assume that casuals are just there to go in arcade mode and just whoop somebody up and unlock stuff and watch movies and look at boobies. That's what they think casuals do.
Bars.
Sorry, Syrin. Syrin about to ban me.
No, that's fine.
Syrin's about to ban me because he told me not to freaking get it. Told me to keep it at a certain level. But I mean, all casuals aren't.
No. It's all good. I'm
just poking. But I'm just messing around. But anyways, it's like the same way all of us. Like I say, I'm a competitive player. Much of y'all that watch my stuff tell me y'all are casuals, but y'all like it because I'm not over here making y'all seem inferior because you don't know about some of this stuff or whatever. At the very best, I try to teach. That's what really, hate to get preachy, but this is the FGC. The C means community. It's about teaching. It's about sharing, man. Mess down PC or whatever, but honestly, I would much rather do that than honestly act in a way that's going to scare away potential newcomers. And with no newcomers, that means no community, which means fighting games die or decline in popularity. That's what happens, okay? But it's like Max is one of a handful of people that like have a lot of knowledge about stuff that is actually more in touch with a variety of like the casual mindset as opposed to people that just think casuals were just built in a freaking factory and they were downloaded in their brains like, hey, just buy our game so we can, selling the millions, then we need you. Just, hey, I'll let the jiggle physics, and I'll let the kicks, and ooh, the supers. Hey, the supers, and we got auto combos for you. Haha. Buy our stuff. I know, like, I'm cartooning it up a little bit, but that's how a lot of y'all sound when you talk about casuals. Like I said, Max is not like a gold mine. Max gets stuff wrong. I get stuff wrong. You all helped me that time when I said that Love Heart was going to be in 15 when I didn't even know about the freaking copyright dispute. But you know why y'all, like, at least why I think why some of y'all stick around at least with stuff like that? Because I don't just flick it back at you and be like, screw you or whatever, then I told you all then. Like I have some inside knowledge or some crap.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on, man. That's the reason why I think Max like has the appeal that he does then, because a lot of people from what I see, I ain't saying names, but y'all misrepresent how casuals think. Because there's a mixture of people. There's a mixture of competitive people like me. There are competitive people like Cheshirebeam mentioned earlier that will whoop you and whoop you and whoop you and whoop you and just think they're the best thing ever. You got somebody like me, like, yeah, I might, play a match with you competitively, but I'll try to help you if something like is visibly, frustrating you. And pros aren't freaking perfect either. Somebody legit made a video around the time Street Fighter V first came out, and I like it because they played a song in the midst of like the whole thing called "It Ain't Safe for the Block." and he was talking about like certain moves, because it was talking about certain moves that you should be punishing in Street Fighter V. And he actually brought up and showed a clip of Daigo. If you don't know who Daigo Umehara is, guy is like freaking.
Y'all know
that guy is Hall of Famer. Like this guy is freaking. Take your favorite sports, best known, most successful player, and just that's Daigo in the FGC. That's Daigo.
He's there
are moves. There are moves that he showed clips. People would do moves against Daigo that he's not punishing. so it's like, come on, man. Like I said, Guilty Gear Strive did not get 300K in 3 days off of the mess that some of y'all are talking. And that's that. Sorry I took up so much time, but I had to spit some fire for a minute.
Drops the mic and walks away.
Yeah.
I'll end it on a funny note then, since I finally got the mess fixed. Yeah, when I was talking about Syrin, when I was giving him that Ace Attorney freaking lesson or whatever, what was he about to do with that freaking class if he had to go in there? There we go. Rage quit button is back online.
Snap.
Oh, okay.
But I know Syrin, like I said, he was standing there fuming. I'm pretty sure he got something to say, unless he's just gonna call people childish again. Which I'll agree with him. What you got, Syrin?
I don't got anything to say really. I don't.
Not gonna call
I did.
No,
Totally forgot.
Not gonna call him childish anymore.
Oh yeah, they're still childish.
They sitting in their room fuming, sucking on their freaking little binky or whatever you call it, little pacifier.
Yeah.
Crying about auto combos.
They got their pacifier. Mommy's bringing them some food. In their crib, just chilling out there, like.
Oh my god! Y'all making
them
listen to the freaking
auto combos. How could they allow this? Back in my day, we had perfect mechanics.
Auto combos itself are not the problem, but you have games that you can win only using auto combos. Like what? You talking about fighters, Johnny? Because the thing about it is, fighters legit kind of. I haven't played fighters in a hot minute, and that's nothing against the game itself. I just kind of lost interest because other stuff was, catching my interest at the time. But I do know that some of those auto combos in Dragon Ball FighterZ, like, have, like, throw mix-ups. Like, they're actually, like, command grabs built in or something like that.
Yeah, like Cell, Janemba, and there's, like, three or four characters that have a grab in their auto combo. But even those, I think you can jab them out of that once they get to that portion. And with Cells, I know you can crouch his. You can just crouch his auto combo.
It's
And
like,
block.
because I had mentioned this also like sometime before. People were complaining about like the rage arts and freaking Tekken. It's like, I mean, I get the mess is kind of new for Tekken players because Tekken never mess with no supers, no matter how cinematic something might get. But at the same time, you do it, and whether it hits, whether it whiffs, whether it's blocked, it's gone. Now, the one thing I will give these people, I didn't like the mess of Mortal Kombat 11 because they kept giving it back to you. Like the mess legit had a cooldown, like in a MOBA. The little freaking what is it, Fatal Blow, whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, Fatal Blow. Like I didn't like that. You use your mess and it gets blocked, or you don't hit the mess, it should be gone. My bad for hitting the mic, but it should be gone. It should be gone. But instead, they put that mess on like a 8 second cooldown. 8 seconds.
Some
That's some MOBA mess. Which is funny because you got people. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna make fun of this fool anymore. But I'll give y'all that. Like that right there was silly. Mortal Kombat 11 did a lot of things I didn't like. And it's not even like I'm saying Guilty Gear Strive is like a flawless. Like I mean, it's still good. Now the gripes that I have, one is a nitpick and the other one is kind of sort of. I think we can all agree with it. I personally don't like the fact that, you know, when you like when somebody splats the wall, when somebody wall splats, you know, that's when they're in a position to get broke. And you probably saw freaking Cheshire do it a couple times in the stream that we had. You probably saw it
What?
there. Just jab, 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 and it's a break. I personally don't like that. Like I think it should be like slash attacks, heavy slash attacks. If somebody wants to push a dust attack, if they want to do their super, cool. And maybe I'm being too nice by giving them 4 different options to break the wall with, but I'm just saying. Now, they did a good job in at least not making it like Injustice, like stage shifts where the freaking map beats the mess out of you automatically. So they did that at least. But I'm just like, I just couldn't stand it. There was some mess I saw yesterday that almost made me like take back. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it needs to go, but I forgot what it was. And the only other thing gripe I have is just the fact that you got in-game currency, but it's for stuff that no colors for like the characters, no extra colors. You gotta buy them. Like, I mean, come on, man. That's it. They at least got the basic stuff right, and the lobby still needs some work. That's it. Netcode, good. Gameplay, fine with me. There are no boring characters in this game. I legit, if y'all watched my tier list for like the themes, I told y'all I have never played Mei before. Now look at me, I'm playing Mei. Never played Kai before. Now I'm playing Kai. No boring characters on this roster. None. But it's like, y'all want KOF 15 to be like 13. I mean, I'm all for it, but if you want to blow that mess out the water,
the number of fucking emergency room visits are gonna skyrocket if they
Yes.
do that.
yes.
Broken hands every other day.
Yeah. So
A whole generation is gonna have carpal tunnel within the next like 6 months if KOF 15 goes back to 13 mechanics.
I mean, like, maybe, like, if you make it 13 and some folks might not like it, but maybe with some latency it'd be fine, but, I mean, it's whatever. But,
13, but it's a little bit nicer to your bones and your hands.
Yeah.
yeah. I should not, like, I mean, it's fun in a way, but it's kind of freaky. I'm over here playing 13, and, like, after I play it, and, like, I'm actually trying to do some of this more advanced stuff, I feel like I legit tried to punch a window off a car. Sheesh. But,
Bro, I remember before I got my arcade stick, there was I played on a Switch Pro controller because that's all I had because it's the only console I have. It's a Switch. Well, that and a Wii U. But I remember I had gotten like calluses from playing 13 on like the inside of my hand.
yes, it got calluses in it. But I mean, hey, I guess that's the. I guess maybe that's one of the reasons why fighting games are so intimidating for, you know, non-fans to get into sometimes. You know, you see the stuff that people do and like they get freaked out. But hey, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the best or like even pro. I guess I'm decent at fighting games, I suppose. But I mean, hey, I just told y'all the story earlier. I was once scared, but then I stepped up to the plate and it was fun. I mean, even people make fun of you getting perfected or whatever. Just take it and move on. Somebody getting a perfect on you doesn't mean like there's not some law. There's not some freaking some freaking fighting game council law where you get perfected, you have to freaking give up fighting games for the rest of your life or anything. Okay,
That's how they be feeling.
you be
Like
you will be okay.
you
You will be
have
okay.
you have to strive for victory.
Yeah, I see what you did there. But we are at the wrap up period, and Jose is already leading the charge. You know how we do this. Every single time we end a Shattering, it is time. I wish the freaking Pokemon theme song like had like a loop or something, like the freaking version, so they could just play it in the background when we do this.
KOF character.
But who's next? Since we're being all wrestling themed tonight, then let's just put some Goldberg on it. Who's next? Jose thinks K Dash is finally gonna freaking make his appearance after just peeking in the freaking trailer. I'm starting to get tired of this who's that Pokemon thing every week. Just give more info of the gameplay, etc. I mean, it's okay with me though, but at the same time, I would like something to be like something a little bit different. So I can agree with that a little bit.
I wish Angel comes back. Yeah, if Angel makes a return to KOF 15, despite being very hard to play, that'll they'll might yeah they'll might definitely tone down her controls.
I don't know because they didn't really tone it down in 14, but who knows? Who knows?
I was fine with it.
Who
Like I
knows?
liked playing, and that was like the first time I played a character like that.
And AI is auto combo because it's programmed in. It's a freaking like you are a human, then you can read. Then you are above the AI. You got more brains than the AI. If they're over here just mashing freaking square or whatever, then I'd be just if. I haven't played against an AI in a minute though, but like that mess used to put me to sleep. Then it used to put me to sleep whenever like the AI would play a charge character and they'd be blocking the whole time because they're charging their buttons when they know they can cheat to cut the moves out. What they need to do, honestly, instead of like who's that Pokemon. Thanks a lot, John. Now I'm freaking saying it like we're talking about a Pokemon fighting game. Like Pokken didn't just happen, but anyway.
Pokken?
Pokken, Pokken, Pickin, Pookin. I've heard this mess pronounced 500 ways. Then somebody tell me the real one, please.
I think it's Pokken tournaments. It's
Okay.
full name Pokemon. It's Pokemon and Tekken.
That's even worse than the tomatoes and the tomatoes and the potatoes and the potatoes. But anyways,
Nobody says potatoes.
yeah, they apparently do. According to these fools, I don't buy it. Ignore that. I don't buy it.
Even like
I
even
don't-
Europeans don't say potatoes.
I'll give you that one. Anyways, but what they should do, honestly, this week they should put out that freaking that cinematic they were talking about that was done by the person that produced the movies, the Fatal Fury movies, because I know they talked about that in the beginning. And what number trailer was Louie Longlegs? What number trailer was she? Okay, it was 16. Trailer 22. I almost want to say 25 might be the midpoint when it comes to character reveals. But like I said, I am a huge advocate. Like, I agree they need to switch it up a little bit then. If they're going to do who's this Pokemon... God dang it, Johnny! Anyways, if they're going to do that, then they need to up the ante. They need to freaking put a silhouette of 3, a full team right there. Right there. Full team.
Yeah.
Full
Yeah.
team. Full team of 3. Whether it's like a vintage team, whether the American sports team is making a comeback and they just want to put all them out there at one time, whether it's those from the past, whether it's like some new characters that are like integral to the storyline, whatever. They need to do that if they're going to do the silhouettes. 3 characters, full team, right there. That's what they need to do.
So, Chris, as far as the trailers, you know what would be interesting if they did. You know how with Street Fighter V, they did like a bunch of stuff with Kenny Omega, like how he played Cody
Yeah.
in like the one trailer.
Right.
Like if they had like something like that, where they had like I almost said a smoke service, but like like a wrestler, or it's like a well known wrestler or something like that to do like some of the trailers or to like help sponsor it or not sponsor but like promote it. That is.
You think they freaking get somebody from WWE involved in, since, as Syrin mentioned earlier, both of them are in the freaking All-Star game.
The Rock as Tizok.
Tis Rock. Tis the Rock. But yeah, so who's next? Since we're going wrestling stuff, then freaking Jose says K Dash. Anybody else got any guesses?
I would like to see Angel.
Do you think she'll be the next trailer?
The next one. Okay. Next? I would say because they kind of been mixing up. They been bringing back returning characters and revealing like core characters so far. So I would probably say maybe I don't know. They might try to bring back the villains team again. Bring back old Freddy Krueger and the guy with the freaking wrecking ball or the
Crack
little
addict.
yeah.
You said crack addict, man. There's something else at play there. Just silly.
It would be interesting if they reveal Cooler next.
Who do you think is next? I don't want to know who's interested. I want to know who do you think we're gonna see next.
I'm putting my money on Cooler.
So the other K Dash member. All right, then. I got you. By the way, before you go, Jose, just for you know, I'm on board with you. I think it's time for K Dash to like finally it's been too long, man. It's 22 trailers since come on, man. 22 trailers and we haven't seen somebody that we got a peek at in the first trailer. I think it's time for K Dash to hurry up and we finally see what this dude what his arsenal looks like. Come on, it's time. It's been too long, man. We finally got Leonuma, finally, who we also saw earlier. Only person we've seen in that freaking trailer and hasn't popped up yet is K Dash. And you might as well get him out the way because what I'm really anticipating is when all the legacy characters have been revealed for the most part, and that is when the guessing is going to get interesting. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
But, Syrin, what you think?
I'm going to say Geese Howard.
He is betting on the goose.
Ooh.
Indeed I am.
He betting on the goose. I'm pretty sure he's in the storyline because of the whole thing with the scrolls, so I wouldn't put it past that. I just legit realized I freaking brought up the freaking playlist that Syrin made for us to play in the background, and I didn't play it at all throughout this whole freaking broadcast because it was tripping so hard off of so much stuff, man. Good golly. But that's all we got for this episode right here. Thank you, Cheshirebeam, for joining us.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Give them any information about where they can find you at YouTube, ArtStation, what you got?
Okay, so if you want to check out some of my art, on my Instagram, it's Cheshire's Beam. Not Cheshire Beam, but Cheshire's with an S. Beam. You can also find me on Twitter, which I'm pretty sure I have the same handle. My Twitter handle is at Cheshire Beam.
Alrighty then. That all you got?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's all you got, and that's all we got for y'all this time. Thank you for joining us, and I am thankful since we're about to catch that thick of that storm coming up this way then, but I didn't get shut down once, so good on that. But thank you everybody for joining us, those that took part in the conversation. If you stayed by and watched, we appreciate it all.
Yeah.
Until next time. Oh, and by the way, dang it, I should have mentioned this earlier because Syrin said it. I don't think there's going to be a Shattering the next weekend, right? I think you're out of town, right?
Yeah, and one other thing. Getting close to 100 subscribers, so maybe potentially Chris and I here get together and do a 100 subscriber special thing.
Be down for that. But yeah, and just in case nobody watches the VOD or something, I'll have to inform in my next video or whatever that there's gonna be no Shattering this Saturday. Well, next Saturday, the next Saturday, because we finished this Saturday's freaking Shattering. We did.
Yeah.
We freaking did. But thank y'all for joining us. Then until next time, You know what I always say. Take care. Be safe out there. See y'all.
Goodbye.